It's time to add some spice to your nooner. Nooner funny. This is the place where big-time guests, bold opinions, and little cute doggies come together. This is Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Pella Columbus, the #1 rated windows and doors in Columbus.
All right, back at it. Great to have you guys aboard. We start the sports week with you, Rothman and Ice, Anthony Rothman, Matty Ice Hayes, and the loose cannon at the controls. Boys, how was the weekend? You a little soggy.
Oh, my goodness. Listen, to say the least. So I went down to Cincinnati, the Queen Bee, myself, one of my best friends, and his girlfriend all went down to Cincinnati for the day. So we're driving down, leave Columbus right around, 11:30, noonish. The entire drive, it was nothing but rain. Nothing but rain, but we get down to the Natty, and it lightens up a little bit. And so go to the game, unfortunately, watch my Reg catch an L from the Washington Nationals. I'm sitting there like, what is this?
One guy forgot to go to the game.
This was
the pitcher.
Exactly. So, no, that was fun on Saturday. Pre-gamed at a spot called the Fish Bowl, which was a nice little spot down there. If you know where the Holy Grail is, it's right there in that same strip. So that was awesome on Saturday. And then yesterday, got to the movie theater, saw Thunderbolts. I put them on the pressure list because the Marvel universe is always an interesting place to be. Sometimes you don't know what you're getting from Marvel when it comes to consistency. But I thought Thunderbolts was really good. I'm not going to spoil anything. Just make sure if you go, stay past the credits. If you're a Marvel fan, you know that already. But for the folks that don't know, make sure you're locked in to that. So, no, my weekend was good, man. Had a lot of relaxation time and just kicked it, man, and enjoyed sports and entertainment at the same time. It was fun. How was your weekend?
Very nice.
Yeah?
Not bad. I worked in, I would say I would count, if you include Friday.
Yeah.
Should we not include Friday?
Probably not.
So if you don't include Friday, I think I got in, what did I get in yesterday? 6 holes for the whole weekend. Mad Max and I went out turtle yesterday about 3 o'clock and just did a little speed golf. The worst 3 words in golf.
Cart paths only, baby.
You've learned. I've taught you well, my man.
Yeah.
I've taught you well. Not a fun deal. But at the turtle, it's okay. You can kind of hopscotch your way around on the cart path friendly holes. And so got a few swings in, and that's about it. I can't even tell. Watched a lot of hockey. I can't even get over how great the hockey was and how unlikely these endings are. It doesn't make any sense. I think there was a stat that Winnipeg, were they the 4th team in NHL history to survive a multi-goal deficit with under 2 minutes to go in a playoff game? Like, it just doesn't happen. And it happened last night and then double OT, and it's just been can't figure it out. I do think, and I do think, in fact, I think I know that it is the hardest championship to win.
The old Stanley Cup?
From a physical standpoint, from an all-out standpoint, from a series standpoint, you got to win 16 damn games to win it all. And you're not winning them 4-0 every time. And my point of it is, and football is football. It's physical. I get it. It's massively violent when you're playing it. And you could make the case that it's more violent, obviously. There's collisions on every single play. But it's won. What are you going to win 3 games to win a title? Hockey's got to win 16.
It's a lot.
Like, it's a lot.
It is.
And I know you can compare basketball, but that's not that.
It's 16 in basketball as well.
Woo.
It's both sports. It is. It's a lot to put on.
I don't think anything's got anything on hockey. I really don't. And I'm not talking about from a love of the sport or that. You can easily make the case that, well, it's absolutely true that football is more popular than hockey. But you can't tell me that there's anything about winning a title from a team sport that's any tougher than this.
It's a fun time where we're at right now. I mean, coming out of the draft and you get right into the second round of the NBA playoffs. The NHL playoffs are cooking right now. And so this has just been awesome, man. It really was a fun weekend packing all of that stuff in. You know what else is fun? We got a new lineup starting next week here at the Fan. So listen closely, because starting Monday, May 12th, new Morning Juice with Bobby Carpenter and Tito, 6 a.m. to 8 a.m., the Fan's YouTube channel and the Fan 3 on HD Radio and the Fan app. You can download the Fan app today, and then 10 a.m. to noon, you can watch on 10 TV Plus free streaming app available on Roku, Amazon Fire TV, and Apple TV. Download today. So here's the new weekday lineup that is going to start again next Monday, the 12th. 6 to 9 a.m., it will be T-Bone and Tyvis. 9 a.m. to noon, it will be Bishop and Friends. Noon to 3. Rothman and Ice. We ain't going anywhere.
You sure?
3 to 6. Well, maybe not. 3 to 6, Common Man and Timmy. And then 6 to 8 p.m., the Buckeye Show with our guy, Brandon Beam. So new lineup again starting Monday, May 12th right here on The Fan.
All right, give me your opinion on this. I don't know who this is.
Yeah.
And we'll get into believe me, we'll get into all the Michigan stuff. We got plenty of time here. Brad Crawford's going to come in at 12:30 or jump on at 12:30, CBS Sports. Give us a little take on the national perspective on whether is this the little ball peen hammer they're talking about. And then we'll get into a lot with the Cavs already losing home court, and we got a lot to do today. But as I was watching the Miami Grand Prix, Joe Burrow, and my contention is that if this was not in Miami, none of these people would show. I don't think it's F1. F1's popular. I love open wheel racing. Always have. And I don't know, maybe there is a little catch because it is F1 and there's a cool factor that's through the roof. But you can't tell me if this was somewhere else that all these celebrities would be.
In Oklahoma.
It has to be Miami.
The 305, baby. That's where you got to be.
Joe Burrow rolling deep
Yeah.
off of that bus with a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
And he was with some girl named Olivia Pontone, or what? How do you guys know how to pronounce her last name?
I don't.
Okay.
Supermodel, though, correct?
I don't know.
Okay.
I'm just I want to see where the kid's at right now.
Now, here's my question. Is this the same woman that called when his home was burglarized?
Burgled?
Was this the same person? Because I swear, wasn't that part of the story?
Yes.
That there was a model or some woman
I think that is correct.
Alerted law enforcement that number 9's crib had been broken into.
Yes, she is the one.
Okay, so they've been rocking for a while now. Okay, I see you, Joey B. No, listen, the same thing happens, AR, with the Kentucky Derby. It's the place to be. All these celebrities, it's the who's who, right? I saw, like, Bobby Flay is at freaking the Kentucky Derby, right? Like, Mike Tirico is covering it, but all these different celebrities, which we'll get to.
He was covering
it. But, yes, down there, Miami, you know how I feel about Miami. If you've been to Miami, you know what Miami is all about. You've been there.
Many times.
Liverpool.
Many times.
You've been there with one of the
a little stroll down Ocean Drive.
So, yes, Joey B., this lady, they seem to be an item.
Okay, still going strong.
Yes, I'm happy for him.
5 months after the home invasion.
Okay.
So it only brought him closer.
Yeah.
The break-in.
Now, he's probably like, I can really trust her, you know? She's a real one. She held it down for me when I was gone.
So they were in town for the F1 Miami Grand Prix. It says the couple made sure not to be photographed together, with Burrow hopping out of the van first. She followed shortly after.
Okay.
With a big smile on her face.
Okay, so you're saying this is kind of like the opposite of C.J. Stroud and Amber Rose. Remember when that popped up? Remember that? The whole story with C.J. and Amber Rose where it looked like they were leaving from an event together, and I think C.J. kind of came out and said, what was his reason? Like, she was waiting on a ride, and I wanted to give her a ride. I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember exactly what that was, but I know some people were looking at CJ like, okay, it's an interesting choice there. Hey, listen, get it how you live. I'm not mad at it. Whatever makes you happy. You could be like Bill Belichick. You could be like Joey B. Whatever you want to do in your love life, have at it.
That's right.
Have at it.
You know what I have to say about the two of those lovebirds, Bill and Jordan.
I saw this weekend as well that apparently, remember the Ben Affleck Dunkin' Donuts commercial that came out, I think, for the Super Bowl either this year or last year, that Bill and Jordan Hudson are in that commercial? Did you see that floating around this weekend? That she's been in the mix maybe for longer than we think or we know. So the Ben Affleck, and I swear there was somebody else that did a Dunkin' Donuts commercial for the Super Bowl right around that time. And apparently she's in the back of that commercial at some point in time with Bill. I'll have to find this and show you.
You're correct. Your instincts were correct that Amber Rose and C.J. Stroud were the subject of dating rumors after they were seen leaving a celebrity softball game together. She clarified on her Instagram that they were not dating, had only met the day before. She also stated that CJ gave her a ride to her hotel after her original ride left her in the lurch.
Okay, I knew it was something like that. CJ just a nice guy. QB1 of the Houston Texans, looking out for the people. Just maybe looking out for himself.
Ubering the common folk around.
Get it in, CJ.
That's what he does. All right, we're just getting started. We'll come back with what is breaking, and that's Michigan self-punishing, but not self-admitting. How much more is coming? We'll discuss next. Rothman and Ice in the Fan.
This promo is brought to you by Common Man and Timmy Hall's Ping Pong Game. The Fan.
Now at White Castle, you can get 12 chicken rings for just $3.99. Tender on the inside, crispy on the outside. Choose from classic or our new Cheddar Blast flavor made with real cheddar cheese. White Castle. Follow your crave. Limited time only at participating castles. Tax not included.
Welcome to Tire Discounters. Oh, you're the Carfax guy.
The Carfox from Carfax.
Wow.
And you, sir, work at Tire Discounters.
I sure do.
The Carfax top-rated service center.
Oh, right. You know, a lot of that's because of our services. But people think we're just about tires.
Maybe it's your name.
Yeah.
Tire Discounters. And your jingle.
Oh, you like it?
I think it needs something.
Yeah? Like what?
Hit it. Plus brakes, oil changes, shocks, and struts, and more. Now that speaks to me.
Breaking news coming in from Bet365, and it's no surprise. Same game parlay from Bet365 just keeps getting better.
Well, it's even easier to make a bet. Choose from the most popular markets like hits, run line, totals, and home runs. So many to choose from.
Download the app, start building your bet, and see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. T&Cs apply.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us. Right now, get $1,500 off a shower or tub replacement or $3,000 off a full bathroom remodel, plus low to no monthly payments. Call 380-225-BATH to schedule your free estimate or go to bathsareus.com. 380-225-BATH. That's are us. When dreams sunk in, that's are us.
Did you ask about Pick 3 from the Ohio Lottery? Okay, Pick 3 is a daily draw game where you pick 3 individual numbers between 0 and 9 that can be played straight, where numbers must be drawn in an exact order or boxed where they can be drawn in any order. You can win hundreds, and wagers start at only 50 cents. Want to learn more? Okay, go to OhioLottery.com or the Ohio Lottery app. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly.
Discover uncompromising quality at a reliable price with Giant Eagle in Market District. Look for signs throughout the store highlighting lower prices. Surround yourself with savings at Giant Eagle. Experience value like never before. Visit Giant Eagle today to see how easy it is to save.
This promo is for anyone who likes baseball or America or Terry Francona's scooter. The Reds are on the Fan. Catch all 162 games here on the Fan and 1460 ESPN Columbus and the Fan's HD2. Your home for Reds baseball, the Fan.
Have you ever told a friend?
Oh, I'm fine.
When you really felt
just so overwhelmed.
Or sent a text?
Can't sleep. Are you awake?
When you couldn't find the words to say?
I'm scared to be alone with my thoughts right now.
Then this is your sign to reach out to the 988 Lifeline for 24/7 free confidential support. You don't have to hide how you feel. Text, call, or chat anytime.
This is the sound of a popular American motorcycle. It's the sound of freedom, the open road, really good times. And this is what it sounds like with a drunk guy in it. How do you like the sound of that? Cops are cracking down on drunk motorcycle riders. If you ride drunk, you will get caught and you will get arrested. Drunk riding. Over the limit, under arrest. Paid for by the U.S. Department of Transportation.
Fan and weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy skies with some peaks of sun and temperatures only getting into the mid to low 60s. We'll see chances of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon to early evening, some which could be on the stronger side, and then lows tonight into the 50s with rain overnight continuing. For Tuesday, we still have a chance of rain and isolated storms in the forecast with highs in the 60s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
There's nothing like ripping off your pants and enjoying some lobster bisque. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right, so this is not a shocker. What is surprising, and listen, I think this is Michigan's. This has been their play-by-play ever since Harbaugh wanted to fight this thing till the cows came home, and then all of a sudden bent the knee, and then you know what happens, blows doors, gets out of town, takes the big NFL contract, has the title. You guys worry about that. Sherrone, you good with signing up for a multi-million-dollar contract? Yeah, I'll take the heat. I'll take the hits. That's it. You know what I mean? This was a desperate program that needed to turn around against Ohio State. We don't have to go through it. I'm not playing Homer here. I'm just playing obvious. I really am. I'm playing objective. I have with this Connor Stallions thing the whole way. Anybody with a brain knew that they were going outside the lines, not Bob Lee style. What's he up to? And but I felt like,
wait, what is he up to? I don't know.
Yeah, I think he
we got to pour one out for Bob.
I think that was a while. I think that was a while ago. Yeah. One of my favorite, one of the best.
He was awesome on that show. Awesome.
Am I wrong, or is he
I really don't know, AR.
Maybe he is still okay.
Is he still rocking and rolling?
Who am I thinking of? Oh, I know who I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of, I don't think you would know this name. Do you remember a name, Tom Mees?
Tom Mees. No, that's not ringing a bell.
That's what I was thinking of. But that was a long time ago.
But Bob's still cooking, right? So. Okay, good. All right, cool.
So the other thing about the Michigan thing is, like I said, anybody that had a brain knew that he was not a lone wolf, because clearly Michigan was benefiting by the information that he was acquiring, and they were in desperation mode to do that. The other thing about it, and this was pretty simple, they justified it because stealing signs is not illegal. The way he was doing it was, and that's the weird part about it, right? It's like you just got to be better at how you... Like in baseball, you're sending a steal sign, you better not hope that there's
ways to steal signs in baseball, and then there's the Houston Astros
absolutely
way.
Right.
Where it was just a whole nother level of disrespect to the game with the banging of the trash cans and some technology stuff, and you had the whole Jose Altuve rounding third thing where he's looking at his teammates and saying, "Don't take my jersey off." And his reasoning was, "Hey, my wife didn't want me to have my shirt off in public," or whatever crap he was throwing at us. It was all a joke. And what Michigan is doing right now, to me, is a joke. And it's as clear as day what they're trying to do. What they're trying to do as a program is say, "Hey, NCAA, we're handling this in-house. Take it easy on us," right? When this comes down, whenever the official ruling and punishment comes down from the NCAA, we've already slapped ourselves on the wrist. Our head coach right now, he's going to miss a couple games. He's missing the Central Michigan and the Nebraska game. But guess what game he ain't missing? The game against his alma mater, one of the toughest games on their schedule, that being Oklahoma. And so that is a slap in the face to everybody right there. It already was with what they were doing and how they went about it, and the massive cutting of corners with the way that they led themselves to a national championship that year. But now not only do you do that, but to me, you double down on disrespect to everybody that just loves football in general, whether you're an Ohio State fan or not, with this suspension and having him miss the games that he's missing instead of missing a game of value. They can beat Central Michigan, Nebraska. We don't know what they're going to be like yet. We'll see what type of leap Dylan Raiola can make this year, but he ain't missing that Oklahoma game, and we know why. It means something to him personally, and they know that's one of their toughest challenges on the schedule. So this all, again, from the team up in Ann Arbor, is just laughable how they're going about it, and it's disrespectful to the sport and everybody else involved.
When Urban got suspended those 3 games, that included the TCU game? Am I thinking of that correct?
I believe so, AR.
That was the one that had the teeth to it, right? And I remember being on the air that week saying that if they were gonna do it, that it would be 3 games.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think they would have done it for Oregon State and Rutgers. I didn't feel that way. And that's what happened. He did get the 3. This is not, from Michigan's standpoint, why this looks so stupid on them is that all they've been saying is that they did nothing wrong. They didn't. Now, I don't think they've ever completely dismissed the Connor Stalions effect. I don't know if they've it was more of they've leaned into the, hey, we're just working harder. We're stealing signs. Everybody's doing it. He was hiring people, going to stadiums, videotape. He was doing so much
using
more.
Technology,
you really want to believe it. I wasn't there, so I can't tell you 100% what happened. But where they're getting Sherrone Moore, because I know I've seen a lot of people today say, well, why do they keep saying they've done nothing wrong and still self-imposing a 2-game suspension on their head coach? That makes no sense. Where I think there's a little bit of a nuance to it is that Moore, who was accused of deleting those text exchanges with Stalions.
More than 50.
Right before the news broke.
Yep.
For, when they were being investigated for advanced scouting, or Connor Stalions specifically, that they did wind up recovering those text messages, even though he deleted them. He has never denied those allegations. Now, he also said there was nothing on those texts, and I can't wait till they're released.
Why would you delete them?
Why
are you deleting them?
So the broader case involving Michigan is not Sherrone Moore's text with Stalions, I don't believe. It's Stalions and the NCAA and that hearing in front of the Committee on Infractions, whenever that'll be in June. That's it. Because Harbaugh obviously was named in the allegation, and he's gone. Several assistant coaches and the institution. So I don't know if this is it doesn't feel like this is a total admission at all, but they're kind of leaning into at least I probably shouldn't have deleted those messages. I made a mistake, but guess what? There was nothing on them anyway.
Which is laughable.
Right.
And it's the same way I laughed, AR, when Tom Brady came out and said, you know what? I always smash my cell phones. I always smash those and dispose those and throw them away. No, you don't. You're doing that because you're trying to hide something, and that's exactly what Sherrone Moore was doing with these text messages. It's like, hey, if your girl wants to go through your phone, it should be an easy, hey, hand it over without having to delete anything. Because if you're deleting stuff, you're trying to hide something from your partner. That's what this is. That's exactly what this is. And I think the NCAA, here's what they should do. I think, look, if they want to take away the title, fine, whatever. That, to me, doesn't hold as much weight because they'll play the whole, we won it anyway, we played the games, yada, yada, yada. But whether it's a year, 2 years, 3 years, I don't know, they should be banned from the postseason. They should be banned from playing for the ultimate prize. Because what they did, to me, obviously helped them get to where they wanted to get. The smoking gun of many, in my opinion, were the videos that were coming out where John Harbaugh and his coaches were on the sideline and Connor Stalions was right there. And where signals were coming in from the Ohio State sideline, they were reacting in the blink of an eye to signals and getting those to their players, and their players were able to execute plays. Down in and down out, snap in and snap out. Those type of things, to me, should never be happening. And you get those type of answers illegally the way that they did, there's got to be a big punishment coming their way. And I hope, AR, it's a postseason ban, because as a program like Michigan, who just won a national championship a couple years ago, and even if it wasn't Michigan, if you do what they did, you don't deserve a crack at the title. To me, you just don't. So I'm hoping that's what's coming their way.
Well, that's what probably should happen, and I don't think it will, but their defense on what you just said, him deciphering signals in real time, will be their defense. That he was deciphering them in real time.
I'm not buying that.
Of course you're not. No one is, especially when he was seen wearing a fake beard or mustache or glasses at a Central Michigan game.
It's like
really? Okay, where he's got a pass on the sideline.
Yeah.
So, of course, Michigan's looking at it as technically, because they can't really have it both ways. You can't have it at, hey, we cut him loose, but we weren't benefiting from his information.
Correct.
Of course they were benefiting. It's one of those things. Now, I know vacating wins this day and age probably isn't a big deal. However, when you are the all-time winningest program in college football history, it might matter a little bit. It might matter 20, 30, 40 years from now when they're not claiming they won the title. Yeah, I know it's easy to say that present day. Well, we were there. We saw it. We watched it on TV. Advance yourself generations and not being able to claim that as a title. I don't know. I mean, it doesn't seem Spygate hasn't really hurt Belichick. Like, it's weird that they would suspend him. The only reason that they would do this is they're trying to take a little bit of the bite away. And and because he wasn't the head coach when Stallions was doing this, and they can also claim that we didn't go all the way to the title with Stallions, even though we had a lot. They already had a lot of the intel of it. So I think that's where this is. There's nothing to believe. Like I said earlier, anybody with a brain will tell you that they overreached with what they did with their advanced scouting, and he did it. They're claiming that he was some lone wolf. Well, what was he doing then? Was he was on the staff, so he wasn't doing it for his own health.
If he was such a lone wolf, then why did Harbaugh trust him so much to be on the sideline during games?
Okay, so remember in Moneyball when Brad Pitt comes out and asks Jonah Hill, why is Mark Shapiro listening to you? Well, I don't really think he does. What just happened in there, he's listening to you.
Yeah.
Why is he listening to you? Connor Stallions was Jim Harbaugh's Jonah Hill in Moneyball. Like, he was that guy. And he had information that certainly they coveted. Because I agree with you. If this was just some Michigan lover or even an alum that did this on his own and tried to send the information in, okay, maybe they would take a look at it. But the fact that he was in there, on the staff, on the sidelines, you can't play this, he was a lone wolf guy if you had him as your right-hand man.
You know what level of trust a coach has to have in somebody to do what we saw Connor Stallions doing? For how much weight these games hold. Like, Harbaugh and that staff looked at the intel that he was giving him and said, this is rock solid. This is as good as it gets. And so we're going to take what you have, bring you down there next to us, and on the fly react to what you see. And there's so much trust in there that we're going to relay that to our players and have them connect A to B and go out there and win games the way that they did. So real quick, because I know we got to hit a break here. First two games that Sherrone Moore will miss will be Central Michigan and Nebraska. That's weeks 3 and 4.
One's on the road, right?
Yes, and that's at Lincoln September 20th. He will coach the first two games, August 30th at home versus New Mexico, and then the big one is their second game on the road at Oklahoma, again, his alma mater.
Yeah. He's somewhat protected here based on his contract, and that it protects him from being fired for cause for stuff that occurred before it took effect. Like, he's protected. He's insulated a little bit here. And it's important for them to insulate him because any other admission, any other firing, any other self-imposed stuff then leads more to why are you going to this length if you, quote, are wrongfully accused. We'll have Brad Crawford up next, CBS Sports 24/7 Sports. We'll get a national perspective on this. He's been around the game a while. We'll see if he's got bigger penalties coming their way. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
Mother's Day is coming up fast and you don't want to drop the ball. Show the incredible moms in your life how much you love and appreciate them with a thoughtful gift from Pro Flowers. Ordering takes just minutes, and Pro Flowers' large selection of modern arrangements at affordable prices are sure to make you look like a gift-giving pro. Visit proflowers.com/sports or use the code SPORTS at checkout for $15 off your Mother's Day order. All Pro Flowers orders are backed by our 7-day freshness guarantee, so you can gift easy with Pro Flowers.
What? All the budget has to be used now? And we can use all the media buy?
Javier's marketing firm just got its dream funding.
Okay, ideas. Bobbleheads? No. T-shirt cannon? I seriously need some help here.
He needs to find marketing managers who are worth every dollar.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Sponsoring a job on Indeed gives it a visibility boost so you can hire faster. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Home means something different to everyone. But with Rocket Mortgage, home can mean even more. It can mean a college education, taming your high-interest debt, even a renovation. We've made it easier than ever to use your home equity. That home you worked so hard for, now it can work hard for you. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Well, Trina, now you're in charge of ordering food for the office, so meet my mountain of menus.
So this should be easy.
Easy as pie. You know the mathematical constant for a circle circumference to diameter ratio, pi? It's super complicated.
In that case, I'll be using EasyCater. It's got everything on one simple platform. Tons of restaurants, dietary preferences, even digital receipts.
But my mountain of menus.
How about I order us some pie?
EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work. Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Fascinating, informative, covered in dog slobber. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, it's weird we're finally getting to this because you go back. I mean, Jim Harbaugh was suspended for 3 games by the Big Ten back in, 2023? For violating, well, this was the Big Ten, their sportsmanship policy related to sign stealing allegations. He served a 3-game self-imposed suspension that season related to a separate investigation into violations during the COVID dead period, but he's gone. He's gone. So I don't know how much they're going to hammer them. I see a lot of us in here in Buckeye Nation saying the hammer is coming, but I got to find out what the definition of the hammer may be. And we talked to our friend Brad Crawford, 24/7 Sports, CBS Sports. He's on the Bryant Heating and Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. Brad, how you been?
I'm doing pretty well, man. Really wondering when this fallout from the Michigan scandals are finally going to end. I mean, it's just every few months or so we see more suspensions or allegations or notices coming through the wire.
All right, so let's say the self-imposition goes through. He sits 2 games. What is your anticipation? You've been around these things before, reporting on stuff, commenting on different scandals around the country in college football. What do you expect in addition to this? This is just Michigan trying to get ahead of whatever they can.
Yeah, worst case scenario, I think, is Michigan loses a number of scholarships for maybe the 2026 season or the next couple of years. I don't see any other suspensions coming for the coaching staff. I don't think there'll be a postseason bowl ban. That's Michigan's biggest fear. I mean, a postseason ban where you potentially miss out on a college football playoff berth, that's millions of dollars lost. So I think if the scholarship ban happens, obviously you lose a couple of key guys and scholarships, but the postseason ban is the thing right now that the Wolverines are trying to avoid by self-imposing these sanctions.
Brad, sticking up there in Ann Arbor, just switching gears a little bit to football and what you think that product will look like for them. I know there's a lot of buzz up there about Bryce Underwood and him maybe taking over that quarterback 1 spot as a youngster, but looking at the outlook of the Wolverines going into 2025, where are you at with them?
Yeah, I think Michigan's a possible 8 or 9 win team, especially if Bryce Underwood comes in there and makes plays in the passing game as a quarterback. That was Michigan's main issue last year. I mean, I know Michigan, by program standards coming off the national championship, fell short of expectations. But this team, despite having little to no offensive firepower, still beat Southern Cal. They beat Alabama, and they beat Ohio State last November. So Sherrone Moore's a good coach. I think you showed that in year 1. Maybe you lost a couple of games that you shouldn't have. But 2025, the expectations are real. I mean, try to get to a playoff spot, and this Michigan team, despite losing a few draft picks early, I think has a chance.
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because now it's kind of reversed. They lost a lot, but they finally get a quarterback. So speak to us about him and what a difference he can be even as a first-year guy.
Yeah, I think if Bryce Underwood was your usual 5-star quarterback freshman, I think he would be quarterback 2 coming out of spring with, Mikey Keene once he gets over his injury from Fresno State to transfer, probably being your QB1. But since Michigan has invested so much money in the top player in this 2025 class, I think there's obvious pressure for Sherrone Moore and new OC Chip Lindsey to play Bryce Underwood on August 30th against New Mexico in that season opener. I think he's a guy who can step in and control that offense. We didn't see much from him in the spring game. I know he didn't have a very high completion percentage, but, man, these spring practices, these offensive schemes are very vanilla. Michigan didn't show anything. So I'm looking forward to seeing what I expect to be a splashy freshman debut against New Mexico here in a few months.
We fast track a lot of things, especially when it comes to looking ahead to next year's draft. And there's already mock drafts out there as to, who's going to be the quarterback 1 next year. When you look at the crop of quarterbacks around college football and some of those guys that could be, top 10, top 15 type picks. Who's the intriguing guy for Brad Crawford at the most important position around college football right now?
Yeah, if I had to project number one pick in next year's draft, if Arch Manning does not come out, it would be Garrett Nussmeier at LSU. I think LSU is going to be a playoff team. They surrounded him with ample portal talent. And Nussmeier is a guy that we saw at times the last couple of years, man. He really makes some high-level, elite NFL-type throws. He has the size, 6'4", 235 pounds or so. And then Penn State's Drew Aller is, similar size and talent level. So those are two guys, Garrett Nussmeier and Aller at Penn State, who I think could potentially go 1-2 in next year's draft.
Brad, what's the drop-off at Oregon with Dillon Gabriel? Then they had Bo Nix before that. They turned to Dante Moore. What do you think the drop-off is there for them?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a worry of mine. If I'm an Oregon fan right now, I still expect Oregon to make the playoff and win double-digit games, but they pretty much secured personnel losses on the offensive line. They added a All-American safety from Purdue at the back end. For the quarterback spot, man, we just don't really know who Dante Moore is. I mean, we saw him play a few games as a freshman at UCLA a couple years ago. I think it benefits him that he is now in year 2 in Will Stein's offensive system out there and played behind Dillon Gabriel last fall. But I think the track record itself, it speaks for it, because you saw Bo Nix 2 seasons under Will Stein have Heisman-like numbers. Dillon Gabriel last year, no issue there stepping in. And I think Dan Lanning is confident, him and his coaching staff, that Dante Moore can, spread the ball out to these talented playmakers. That's the key at Oregon. You don't need to be, the best quarterback in the country. Just get the ball out to these playmakers, sort of like Julian Sayin is going to try to do in Columbus this year. I
want to ask you about Nico Yamaleava going over now to UCLA. I mean, the whole back and forth with he and Josh Heupel in that program got a little nasty publicly when it came down to the money. But now Nico's coming into the Big Ten. When you look at this spot now for him, football-wise, what are your thoughts on what he's going to be surrounded with?
Yeah, I think Deshaun Foster and the Bruins actually got the better end of this deal. I mean, you got arguably a top 15 national quarterback and Yamaleava at a discounted rate, pretty much half of what Tennessee paid for him last season. And then you're able to trade your G5 starting quarterback and Joey Aguilar to the Vols essentially for Nico in a 1-1 swap. I had UCLA as maybe a 3-9, 4-8 team before getting Nico. I think now the expectations are at least get to bowl season, and I'm looking forward to seeing if this UCLA offense can take the next step with a quarterback that I consider to be one of the better signal callers in college football. So UCLA under the radar a little bit this offseason until last month when they signed the top quarterback in the spring cycle.
Brad, with what Penn State did in the playoff last year, is it enough to trust them? It's not like they took down any, big dogs, truly. And they certainly almost took down Notre Dame, but didn't. But where's your level of trust now? Did they finally earn it to the point where you believe that they will be back and are a true contender and there's nothing really to doubt at this point? I'm not talking about winning a title, but that they'll make big-time noise in the playoff again?
Yeah, I don't think James Franklin can mess this one up. He's had several double-digit win seasons in Happy Valley. This is the best roster, I think, on paper, definitely on offense, that he's had in a decade plus. And you look at the schedule, Penn State gets Oregon at home and goes to Ohio State on the road. That's pretty much the only 2 ranked teams they're going to face in the Big Ten this season, unless Indiana is, back to last year's hype. So I think Penn State's a team that really on paper should win at least 11 games, get back to the playoff, and, one of the only programs in college football that returns 2,000-yard rushers. So even if your top quarterback prospect, Drew Aller, is not great this season, just lean on Nick Singleton and Katron Allen, and that should get you to the playoff.
All right, my man. Great stuff as always. Thanks for jumping on short notice. We'll talk soon.
Thanks, man.
Brad Crawford, 24/7 Sports, CBS Sports, on the Brian Heating Cooling Systems Fan Guest Hotline. All right, it's Monday, and it's the noon hour. We go Party Like a Rothstar next. That's everyone who had an awesome weekend. Find out who we picked next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
A lot of hosts have been on our airways in the past 30 years. Some good, some bad, some really bad. Anyway, sorry for that. The Fan.
Okay, so I'm going to let you in on a little secret. Wendy's has this new Cajun Crunch chicken sandwich. And to be honest, I'm kind of crushing hard on this Sammy. It's packed with bold Cajun flavors and topped with crispy onions for a satisfying crunch. All on Wendy's iconic spicy chicken sandwich. It's honestly kind of my dream sandwich. I hope it likes me back. For a sandwich you'll love, gotta be Wendy's. Open till midnight or later.
Limited time only at participating U.S. Wendy's. Hours may vary by location.
Hey, it's Anthony for my friends at Germain Honda of Dublin. And Rich and his team are ready to get you in a great new Honda this spring. Purchase or lease. He's going to make you feel awesome about your next vehicle and your experience. Grab a hold of this one, a 2025 Honda Accord Hybrid Sport. Lease it for only $347 a month for 36 months, 30,000 miles, and only $19.99 down. He's got rates as low as 2.9%. Germain Honda of Dublin on Sawmill Road, just south of 270.
The great thing about Atlas Butler is they do it all. Heating, cooling, plumbing. Look, I'm busy with work. I don't have time to wait around or deal with lots of people. One company, one call, and they do it all. Wonder if they'll clean out my inbox. Seriously, offer that service. Please.
Atlas Butler is at your service. Call 1-800-FURNACE.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, three-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, two-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to lifesearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit lifesearch.com today.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to partner with 10 TV and The Fan to launch Raise the Roof, honoring local heroes. This week, we salute U.S. Navy veteran Ronald Jordan. For over 25 years, Ronald has served our country and community, flying critical missions, protecting top officials, and keeping our streets safe as a Springfield police officer and homicide detective. With retirement around the corner, he's looking forward to traveling with his wife. Thank you, Ronald, for a lifetime of service.
Join Rothman and Ice every Thursday at 2:30 for Gold Jacket Thursday.
Presented by the Pro Football Hall of Fame.
A new Hall of Famer joins the show every week, but not OJ because he's dead and probably a murderer. The Fan.
This PGA Tour moment is brought to you by True Green.
At the 1984 PGA Championship, at age 44 with an ailing back, Lee Trevino defied the rules of age and the ability to practice. Following doctor's orders, Trevino was limited to 30 to 45-minute warm-up before each round, but rallied on the back nine to win his sixth major championship. In the victory, he became the first player to win the PGA Championship with 4 rounds under 70.
True Green, the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour.
A great lawn is like a great sports team. It takes expertise and a little extra care to really stand out. That's where True Green comes in. They're the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour, so they know a thing or two about keeping grass looking like a fairway. It's more affordable than you think, and they'll even match any competitor's price. Plus, True Green backs it all up with a satisfaction guarantee. Head to TrueGreen.com today. Let the pros do the work while you sit back and enjoy the results.
Limited time offer. Restrictions apply. See site for details.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Accurate Heating and Cooling and Bryant. Doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Let's all gather into the Kiki. It's time to party like a Roth star.
All right, let's get after it. I like, Maddie, when you can put some guys in the pressure cooker and then come back and see that they've either answered it or not. Mm-hmm. And I think, you know, going back into the history, Mickelson had predicted that Scheffler was not going to win. What was his tweet? He said something like he may not win the rest of the year or something. Or
really?
Maybe it was before the next major. I'll have to check the tweet. I'll find it in a second. But when we talked about, I think Loose Cannon put Scheffler in the over-unders this weekend.
Oh, yeah.
It was free money. He opened up that tournament like a 61. Like, the weird thing about the story, and this is very cool, is that Scotty Scheffler met Byron Nelson back 22 years ago. And then 11 years after he met him, at 17 years old, he makes his debut in his tournament. Okay. You know, being from Texas and all that. Then 11 years after that, he's back to win it this year. So it's his first win of the season. I mean, he won by 8. He was 31 under. It's the largest margin of victory in Byron Nelson in the 80-year history. That's number one. It was also the first wire-to-wire winner at that tournament since back in the 1980, Tommy Watson. But he gets his first victory. It's the lowest 72-hole scoring in PGA Tour history. So it was total of 253, which is tied for first with a couple others. But, you know, this kid, it's so weird because he's not like a household dominant name, yet he is so dominant. You know, he's not Tiger Woods, not Phil Mickelson. He's not that yet.
He's not like out in any commercials or the endorsements. I know that he has plenty of them, but like he's not like.
The thing is getting arrested at Valhalla.
It is.
Like that
really is it. Yeah. That really is it. But as far as dominance goes, as you're laying out, he's that dude. He is that. He's that dude. I found the tweet for you, Air, that you were talking about Phil Mickelson. It looks like this was back on March 16th.
Okay.
And Phil Mickelson said this. Here's a hot take. Does Scotty win in 2025 before the Ryder Cup?
Okay.
I don't think so.
I wonder why he said it.
They got a little smoke between the two, a little beef?
No, I don't know. I mean, I think Mickelson knows all about pressure to win. And maybe with Scotty, it's always win or bust. He's won a couple Masters. He hasn't won the PGA. He hasn't won the U.S. Open. He hasn't won the Open Championship. If you told me another hot take would be that he doesn't win a major this year. That would actually be the hot take. So if I was betting on whether he wouldn't win a major, I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
I would not bet against him not winning one this year. But he's on fire now. He's back. He got his first win in 25.
That's awesome. First candidate for me. You know, sometimes you got to wait your time. You got to wait your time, and you may not play in certain games, or you may get in games and not play a lot of minutes. That's exactly what's happened to Buddy Hield prior to yesterday's Game 7 performance. Buddy Hield has always been known to be a sniper going back to his days at Oklahoma. Games 5 and 6, Buddy Hield in Game 5 had 4 points and only played 18 minutes, took 6 shots in the game. Game 6 at home against the Houston Rockets, Buddy Hield only plays 17 minutes, only gets up 4 shots, goes 0-4 from the field. The only other stat he registered were 3 rebounds in the game. And then Steve Kerr said something. I don't know what he said to him, but he woke up Buddy Hield and gave him more opportunity, and he responded in a win or go home scenario for the Golden State Warriors. Yesterday, Buddy Hield played 37 minutes, 12 of 15 from the field, 9 of 11 from three-point range. He ended the game with 33 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists, 2 blocks, and a steal. This is what you need in critical games. Your stars like Steph Curry, he didn't have a great first half. Buddy Hield said, don't worry, Steph, I got you, big dog. You've done enough in this league for long enough. Let me help you out. Just a tremendous shooting performance from Buddy Hield. Golden State Warriors are moving on to the next round, which should be a very, very fun series. But Buddy Hield, man, got to give him his flowers today. He was partying like a rock star in a must-have-it game for Golden State yesterday.
Very good choice. All right, I'm going to go to hockey. And when Mikko Rantanen, the former Colorado Avalanche, was traded to Carolina, and they couldn't sign him, he got there. It was the Four Nations break. They were on the road. It just didn't settle. He didn't really want to go long-term there. And they moved on from him at the deadline, and Dallas got him at the deadline. And I think people were wondering at that point, I remember saying in the air, is he worth 8 years, $96 million without Nathan MacKinnon? And it was a very justifiable question to ask. Well, a hat trick later in the playoffs which is amazing because, by the way, it hit the over in the final seconds on the empty netter with 2.7. But let me give you Mikko Rantanen's games 5 through 7.
Okay, talk to me.
Almost 55 minutes of ice time. 5 goals, 6 assists, 12 shots on goal, 4 points in the second period of Game 6, 4 points with a hattie in the third period of Game 7. Dallas was down 2-0 to Colorado with about 12 minutes to go in the game. And the Mikko Rantanen revenge game just was off the hook. That's 7 straight Game 7 losses for the Avs. And for Dallas coach Peter DeBoer, he's 9-0 in Game 7s. So there's some magic there. Mm-hmm. And I really didn't think Dallas was going to be able to take them down, and they did. And it was all because of Mikko Rantanen. Just an unbelievable turn of events there in that series.
I like it. Second candidate for me. You know, sometimes your team, as you're a fan, you know, they make tough decisions. Sometimes they got to get rid of players that are fan favorites. They get rid of guys that are energizer bunnies for their team. They get rid of guys that are productive. And unfortunately, the Cleveland Guardians had to do that this offseason. They're thinking ahead. They're making moves for their future. One of those tough decisions that they had to make was moving on from Josh Naylor. Josh Naylor gets traded for a minor leaguer and some other stuff. We'll see how that works out. But I'll tell you how it's working out right now for Josh Naylor and the Arizona Diamondbacks. It's working out real well. He's out there in the desert cooking with hot grease. Josh Naylor hits in 5 of his last 6 games. He leads the Arizona Diamondbacks in batting average right now at .304. Second on the team in hits. First in doubles and AR. This is a contract year for Josh Naylor. So he is going to hit the market this offseason, not even 30 years old yet, and he is going to get to the bag. They got rid of Christian Walker, that being the Arizona Diamondbacks. He is now a Houston Astro, so there was a big hole to fill at first base. Josh Naylor doing similar things, maybe even a little bit better than what he did in Cleveland over the last few years right now in the desert. Josh Naylor, the former Guardian, partying like a Ross star.
Yeah, he's a beast. It was McLaren in Miami. I mentioned this earlier. Oscar Piastri, the young Aussie, 24 years of age, wins the Grand Prix. He signed with McLaren a couple years ago. He's the first McLaren driver to win 3 straight Grand Prix since Mika Häkkinen back in the late 90s. 4th win in his first 6 races here. Started 4th on the grid. It's not an easy pass on that track, as we saw. Great calculated one over Verstappen, but dominated from there. So the Big O takes it. 24 years of age. I don't know what he won for the race, man. I don't have the exact
I'd like to hear
payout of what he gets for winning the Miami Grand Prix.
Okay.
What's the guess there on that?
I'm gonna
couple
go,
mil?
It's gonna go about 3-4 mil. 3-4
much? All right, I'll check on that.
A little too high? All right. You told me to aim high,
Yeah,
Willis.
aim high.
Aim high, Willis. Shout out to the 40-year-old virgin. Last candidate for me. I'm going Eamon Thompson. The Thompson twins in the NBA are the truth. You watch these guys play, especially on the defensive end, they are getting after people. Eamon Thompson plays for the Houston Rockets, did a really good job making life tough for Steph Curry throughout this postseason. 2 out of the last 3 games in that series, Eamon Thompson goes for north of 20 points, 25 points at home in Game 5. Yesterday, he gave it all he had, 24 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 block, and 1 steal. This Houston Rockets team has a very good core. Eamon Thompson is a big piece of that. It's great to see his brother deal with those blood clot injuries and get rid of those up in Detroit. But Eamon down there in H-Town is for real. So watch out for the Thompson twins in the NBA. These dudes can absolutely go. Eamon Thompson in the Game 7. Great defense, really good offense as well. He was partying like a rock star.
Doctor.
Yeah, they're nice, man. I'm telling you, these Thompson twins, they're the truth.
Absolutely. All right, there's your Party Like a Rock Star today. We come back, top of the hour, Sports Center update. And a very famous broadcaster scratched from a massive event this past weekend. We'll give you those details next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you haven't thought about Buckeye football today, I'm sorry to tell you that you're dead. Our condolences. Your home of the Buckeyes, the Fan.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
You
can save big on 12 packs of Coca-Cola, Pepsi, or 7-Up. Select varieties or buy 2, get 2 free with your card. Limit 8. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
The Roofing Guys are your locally owned, trusted family business right here in Central Ohio. They've been hammering quality and service through the roof for over 25 years, offering professional services in roofing, siding, gutters, and more. Contact them at theroofingguys.com. That's theroofingguys.com.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
Spring is here and it's time for a fresh start, starting with your ride. At Germain Toyota, we've got an offer that'll drive you into the season in style. Get behind the wheel of a 2025 Toyota Tundra SR5 today for just $499 a month. That's right, a powerful, rugged Tundra, just like the one I'm driving, for $449 a month for 36 months. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or online at germaintoyota.net. $39.99 down, 36-month lease, plus tax, title, and fees. No security deposit required with approved credit. Offer ends soon. See dealer for details.
Home means something different to everyone. But with Rocket Mortgage, home can mean even more. It can mean a college education, taming your high-interest debt, even a renovation. We've made it easier than ever to use your home equity. That home you worked so hard for, now it can work hard for you. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Well, Trina, now you're in charge of ordering food for the office, so meet my mountain of menus.
So this should be easy.
Easy as pie. You know the mathematical constant for a circle circumference to diameter ratio, pi? It's super complicated.
In that case, I'll be using ECSF. It's got everything on one simple platform. Tons of restaurants, dietary preferences, even digital receipts.
But my mountain of menus.
How about I order us some pie?
ECSF, the easy way to get food for work.
Hi, I'm Janice. I'm a coach at Awaken 180 Weight Loss. One of my most successful clients, not only in weight loss, but in attitude, came to us with stern doctor's orders that if he didn't do something, he would be dead within 5 years. He did not initially even want to have the conversation, but he signed up for the program. By the second week on the program, he was thanking me, thanking the program. He could not believe how much better he felt. Within 8 weeks, he was down 55 pounds. He was a true transformation of body, but definitely of mind. And of course, he feels amazing.
Hey, it's Austin Ward with a reminder that losing weight with Awaken 180 isn't about the number on the scale. It's about how that number spearheads endless successes. Bring your goals to Awaken 180. Then celebrate when you check off each and every one of them. Call 844-346-1800 or go online at awaken180weightloss.com.
Legend has it, underneath the NJM insurance offices lies a room of rejected mascot memorabilia. Is it real? No one knows. But we do know NJM is proud to put policyholders first. No jingles or mascots, just great insurance.
Insurance underwritten by NJM Insurance Company and its subsidiaries.
Evan Cohen here. Picking a place to build a life is a lot like selecting a draft pick. Make a decision that will set you up for long-term success. Pick Wisconsin. In Wisconsin, you'll find dynamic career opportunities, beautiful seasons, affordable living, and legendary weekends. From its high quality of life and great schools to its fine arts, culinary, and pro sports scenes, Wisconsin gives you so much to look forward to. That's why you should pick Wisconsin. Learn more about making Wisconsin your home. Visit pickwisconsin.com.
Hey there, I'm Jack.
And I'm Stag.
We're just two deer that want to make sure you know it's deer season at your authorized John Deere dealer. The deer season that saves bucks. You know, like us.
Yeah, you can get $3,000 off select John Deere machines. No early wake-up calls or tree stands required.
Just a trip to your authorized dealer before June 2nd.
If you ask us, it's the only deer season worth celebrating.
Visit johndeere.com/deer season to find an authorized dealer and for complete finance details.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. The University of Michigan is self-imposing a 2-game suspension for head coach Sherrone Moore. Moore will miss weeks 3 and 4 against Central Michigan and Nebraska. He will also be barred from any team-related activities during those weeks. The Cleveland Guardians and Cincinnati Reds both hitting the road to start new series tonight. Cleveland is in Washington to face the Nationals at 6:45. Luis Ortiz gets the ball for the Guards opposite Jake Irvin. The Reds head to Atlanta to face the Braves at 7:15. Brady Singer versus A.J. Smith-Shawver. That's your pitching matchup. You can hear that one over on ESPN Columbus beginning at 6:45 and after the Buckeye Show here on The Fan. NBA playoffs, the Celtics hosting the Knicks at 7. Denver is in OKC at 9:30. This one's sponsored by BMI Federal Credit Union. Enjoy rates lower than the national average, plus a special rate on balance transfers with a Visa Platinum or Visa with Rewards credit card.
Like Yoda, Rothman will limp onto the golf course, talk about how stiff his back is, wonder how he can even make it through a hole, and then proceed to kick your ass. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
Second hour of the program, we'll get into the Cavs stumbling out of the gate.
Uh-oh.
It's all right. Vegas has confidence. And I think I do, too.
Okay.
We'll get where Ohio State is on the repeat scale here. Repeat odds this hour.
Back to back, like Drake?
Ohio State. Yeah, we'll find out.
You know what else you need to be looking up, folks, is the 9.71 the race, because you can join the Fan on Saturday, June 21st in Westerville for the inaugural 971 the race. This is going to be a great time. Register at 971therace.com. You can join Common Man. You can join T-Bone and Tyvis Powell along with Eric Reeser on June 21st for a day of activities, food, live music, and most importantly, fun. The race includes a 1-mile walk run, a 5K fun run, and on the sheet it says if you're a total psycho, a 9.71 kilometer run. We like to think of this as, quote, more fun, less run. But our insurance says we can't give you free beer unless there's fitness involved. So come on out, do some moving, and then hang with us on June 21st. We can't take credit for the timing, but June is Men's Health Month. So let's be active together. Come do it with us again on Saturday, June 21st in Westerville, 971therace.com to register and for more information. Baby Chet, you ready to rock and roll? I know you're ready to cook in this thing. You ain't walking. You might sprint this thing. I know you've been training for a long time. You ready?
Not yet, but I will be by then.
Okay, we running? We
I'm
half
running.
and half?
I'm running.
You're running the whole thing?
Well, I'm planning on it. Look, I will get 9.71K. I'm definitely starting running.
Okay, fair enough.
And I'm mentally, I'm like, you know what? Right here, right now, I can't run because it's like, what, 6.23 miles, something like that?
It's a while. It's a while.
I can't do that running right now.
Whatever you
I
do,
don't think.
Please tell me you're going to have some type of entertainment. I don't know if you can wear headphones for this, but if they allow you to do so.
Oh, I'm doing it even if
Please
I can.
do that, because I bring this up, AR, because Dane Sanzenbacher, the former Buckeye, hosts the pregame show with myself and DeVere on Saturdays. He is a big runner. And I asked him, I said.
What is that, like fun?
Yeah.
Jogging?
I asked him.
Is that like fun?
I said.
Don't know the movie.
It's not a movie.
Oh.
It was not a movie. It wasn't a movie or a show.
SNL?
It's kind of a half original, I think. I just was asking. You guys seem very excited about jogging and running. I said, what is that, like fun?
I won't be there running. I'll tell you that. I'm going to leave that up to him. But no, I just wanted to bring up Dane because I asked him one day, I said, you're a big runner, Dane.
Yeah.
And I said, well, what do you listen to? Like while you're running? Podcasts, music, books, whatever. He said, no, I don't listen to anything. I said, that's...
He's got masochist behavior.
You're built different, Dane.
So he's got an inner coach.
Just the wind, the birds.
His head.
And Coach Tress probably in his head telling him 3 yards in a cloud of dust. Like, I don't know how Dane does that. Love Dane, but I told him that's sicko activity.
Well, if it's Tress, he says punt. I would punt on that event. You know, I did this. I did a 5K years and years ago. I vowed never to do it again.
You ran it?
Yeah, I ran it.
Okay, good for you, man.
Wasn't doing too much running after that for a while. But I did talk with some of the folks up there at the Turtle, and they were showing me the email, like some of the girls that were in fitness and our director up there, Kim, and she said, why don't we just get a team from here?
Okay.
And we'll all do it. I'm like, you mean you'll do it? I'll coach from the sideline. We'll get you T-shirts and all that.
Oh, man.
Anthony's
Coaching
Angels.
them up.
Get out there.
Coaching them up.
Yeah, absolutely.
I like that. You know, I was down in Cincy this weekend, and I believe the marathon is called the Flying Pig. Don't hold me to that. It's something pig marathon down there in Cincy. And it's cool to see, like, a lot of people. Remember how we went through, like, the Fatheads era, AR? Like, people had their own personalized Fatheads, like family members coming out there cheering people on. I don't know how people run that long. Apparently, runner's high is a thing. I've never experienced that. But for those people that get to that, much respect, because if I'm on the treadmill more than 15 minutes, I'm like, I'm done. Like, I can't do it anymore. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Like, just running in place.
I think what I'm going to be is the guy that doesn't row. The guy in the crew.
You're talking like for a rowing team? Like
that's right.
Blowing the whistle or whatever? Left, right. Like
not left, right. Well, just row.
You know what I mean.
We're all going in a straight line,
Hopefully
Matty.
we're staying straight.
That's right.
Like General Washington just pointing directions.
I think his name is the Coxswain. I think that's
okay.
I think that has me written all over it for this deal.
Are you sure that's his name?
I don't know, but I'm almost positive because I just watched The Boys in the Boat, which was a pretty good movie.
Okay.
And I think he is the Coxswain. I'm not really sure how to spell it, but that's the guy. Just directing orders, barking signals.
That works for you.
I need some sort of a vehicle, though, that'll take me along the course that I can just,
How do you spell Coxswain?
That's why I said I don't really know how to spell it.
I don't know if you want to Google that.
I'm not really sure. It's got a bulge in it. Yeah, exactly. That's right. Mm-hmm.
Now, I hear that marathon runners never actually run 26.2 miles until marathon day. So,
run about what, 20?
Something like that. I have a friend who ran one. He did like upper teens. And so I'm thinking, I don't have to actually be able to run 6.23 miles until June 21st.
That's a very interesting thing you just said there.
It is.
Is it because of that when you run a marathon, it's such an accomplishment that you would never run one, quote, in practice? Like you wouldn't, like, is that the reason?
Well, then technically, if you do it in practice, you can run 26.2 miles wherever you want to and call it a marathon. It doesn't have to be organized.
I would love for a runner to explain this to me because like you would think you would want to train your mind and body to get to 26
Matty, I
miles.
think it's like you never hoist Lord Stanley's Cup until you win it. I think a marathon, it would be like climbing Mount Everest in practice, but not like an official sanctioned climb. Like, I think you just don't do it.
Yeah, I need somebody to explain that to me because
that's my guess.
I would think if you've never trained yourself to get to 26 miles, when you get to like mile 20, that's got to be a tough mental and physical hurdle to overcome. I would think. I don't know.
Maybe the reason you don't do it. See if you can challenge yourself to break through the wall and make it all the way to the finish.
I need to break
through the wall. But I know people that have done marathons, and it's not. For me, if I ever did one, I never will. It's you check the box and you move along.
You mean you're not starting now?
Run. I don't think so. I've seen guys in a lot worse situations than me run them, though, and they look like horrendous when they're doing it. I feel like but, it's not for me. But
what would the check need to look like for you to train for one right now? Like I'm telling you, blank check, AR. I got it. We'll have this in the bank account as soon as you're done.
And you're just saying I got to finish. I don't really have
to jog it the whole way.
No, that's impossible.
What's the money?
That's impossible. I'm not jogging it the whole way. There's got to be a little walking there. You got to give me a little bit of a break.
Like, hey, I'm asking you to name your price.
To jog it the entire way?
Yes.
But you're not saying how fast. As long as I'm not technically walking.
Correct. Then you get the money.
First you got a money. Then you get a woman. You get a bow.
You get a pow.
I would say if you gave me
an M? You need an M? A milli?
I was going to start at a mil, but I'd cut it down to a half.
Okay.
A half a loaf.
500 bands?
Half loaf, okay. And I would probably... Now, what you're saying is that I actually have to finish the marathon.
You have to finish it.
Yeah, it's not just about the training.
Jogging, run through the tape, and then Matty Ice, your boy, I got all ones, too. They're coming in all ones, AR. Make it rain on you right at the finish line. Then you might lose a few dollars, but then...
Only 6.2 for a half a loaf. I might do it.
I liked your milli better.
Well, of course. Why wouldn't you?
I like to really better.
Sounds more motivating. The M stands for motivation.
So where's my benchmark? Where do I have to be at? If it's like 6.23 miles, again, Brandon has 9.71K.
Yes.
But I'm thinking in miles because that's how I'm measuring it in practice.
I would be very proud of you if you check off at least 4.
Okay. Because I did.
Proud of you. That's very nice.
Thank you very much. Because I've done up to 2.25 and kind of quit out of boredom.
Okay.
I could have for sure given you 3 that time.
I got you.
So I can give you at least 3 miles right now. So if I have a month and a half to actually run 4 miles by myself before
4.
I can push myself to the last 2.
Yeah, give me 4.
And if people are watching, I mean, look, the most that you're ever going to do, like push-ups wise, is when you're in a crowd full of people counting how many you can do.
That's real.
I mean, when you're by yourself, you can.
That's right.
Do all right.
There's certainly some motivation with a lot of people around you, and you can get that done.
Maybe booing you. A couple of boos in the crowd.
I don't think there's any heckling at a marathon. Unless he hops in a cab and takes a shortcut. But
what'll make you proud of TLC? I said 4 miles. He comes back in. He reps the Rothman and Ice.
Wait a minute. You're not finishing the race?
No. I mean, in practice, leading up to race day.
Well, I'm not worried about him not being able to finish it. So I have no reason to believe that he won't be able to do that. How many miles is it?
It's 6.23.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
No worries.
What's the playlist going to be looking like that day?
I'll tell you, it's not going to be David Goggins' podcast. That dude drives me nuts. No motivational speeches, no like crazy stuff. It's either going to be music or, honestly, I get bored of either way. Okay. So I'm going to be pinballing like every 10 minutes between music and podcast.
The David guy you mentioned, he is like a famous trainer, correct?
Yeah, he's a guy who I think was obese and then like ran 100 miles or whatever. Like he's like the ultimate mind over matter guy, and that's not going to work for me.
I saw a video of him, I think, with like an MMA fighter on like the Stairmaster. And
Israel Adesanya.
And he's throwing up. Israel is.
On a Stairmaster.
Yeah, this dude's crazy. Yeah, or this David guy that he's talking about. Like he's
ultimate mind over matter guy. Yeah. And I'm just like, motivational speakers don't do it for me. What he does is he talks about all of his life achievements, and then that's supposed to motivate you to be like him. And I'm like, how arrogant is that?
When I was a kid, there was a great movie called the Terry Fox story. Terry Fox ran across Canada for cancer with one leg. Like he had a prosthetic leg, and he ran across. It's unbelievable.
Across Canada.
Unbelievable. No, kind of.
Got it done, though.
It was unbelievable.
A lot of respect there. Okay.
But no, I have no worry about him doing this. But if I can get the team of Anthony's Angels going here, and I can coach them up,
okay,
and then be there at the finish line, that sounds like my kind of race.
Get your little golf cart. Perfect. Ride the whole thing.
Absolutely.
I see the vision.
I'll be at the checkpoints. Whatever you need.
Hustle up.
No. Couple slaps on the behind. Here we go.
Oh,
no, probably not. All right, we come back. I do want to get to the story from the Derby because this was a late scratch and it had nothing to do with a horse. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
All the 10 TV people come over to our side of the building to take a deuce. That should tell you something about how we operate. The Fan.
Men, is good enough really what you want with your sex life? This is Jeff for Tri-State Men's Health. And if erectile dysfunction is making for a bad bedroom experience for you and your partner, you should call us because you want your intimacy to be fantastic, both for you and the one you love. At Tri-State Men's Health, our treatments have success rates of well over 90%. And because we're a medical practice focused on men's sexual health, we can offer many treatment options and even combine treatments to find the right one for you. Which means if you're like most of our patients, we can likely get you performing like you haven't in years. So make an appointment and make a change from good enough to really good. And for a limited time, we're offering new patients a free first visit to help you get the care you deserve. This includes blood work, a medical consult, and if medically advised, a test dose to demonstrate to you the amazing effectiveness of our treatments. Call 800-900-9654 or go to tristatemenshealth.com. We have 6 offices in the tri-state area to serve you. Tri-State Men's Health, a Promenic restorative health practice.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Donate today at carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K. Your car can be picked up as soon as the next day. Receive a tax deduction and vacation voucher.
1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Now accepting donations of land, homes, buildings, or any kind of real estate.
Working your way through that honey-do list? That means more flushes, more showers, more fiddling with a thermostat. Trust the pros at the Waterworks with your plumbing and drain cleanings and repairs and all your heating and cooling needs. Our certified pros can repair or replace your furnace or air conditioner. Clogs? Call the Waterworks. Drain cleaning? Call the Waterworks. Plumbing issues? Call the Waterworks. Furnace repairs? Call the Waterworks. The Waterworks, trusted neighborhood plumbing, drain, heating, and cooling experts.
Hey, it's Anthony. You know what the slogan is at the Good Feet store? Good feet, good life. Friends have asked me, how are my personally fit arch supports different from the inserts and insoles they can buy online or in department stores? There are big differences. My Good Feet arch supports are designed to provide me firm yet flexible function. What does that do? They actually help correct poor foot biomechanics, which leads to providing me long-term pain relief. I was also the guy who thought, well, if I buy good shoes, my feet won't hurt. It wasn't a bad thought. A lot of people think shoes are always the problem, when in reality, it's often the foot that goes into the shoe that's the real source of discomfort. When I got my personally fit Good Feet arch supports, my feet felt stabilized. The pain and discomfort went away. For more than 30 years, the Good Feet store has helped thousands of people just like me discover the comfort they've been dreaming of. They're on Stringtown Road in Grove City or Polaris Parkway. Learn more at goodfeet.com.
The Fan has been ranked as the second best sports station in America by our industry peers. A heartfelt thank you is in order. But we're not doing it because we're better than that hillbilly Birmingham station that came in first. Thanks for nothing.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Hey there, I'm Brad. I'm about to win the Tuesday Night Bowling League Championship. I'm also a highway worker for the Ohio Department of Transportation. When you move over and slow down, you're not only giving me room to work, you're making sure I can bowl the winning strike with my buddies.
Roadside workers have lives and families, but when they're on the job, they put it all on the line to protect and serve us. Remember, they're not just roadside workers. Thank you for moving over and slowing down.
Brought to you by ODOT, USDOT, NHTSA, and ODPS.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy skies with some peaks of sun and temperatures only getting into the mid to low 60s. We'll see chances of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon to early evening, some which could be on the stronger side, and then lows tonight into the 50s with rain overnight continuing. For Tuesday, we still have a chance of rain and isolated storms in the forecast with highs in the 60s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Anthony's tennis shorts were so tight, they had to pixelate his crotch. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
So, one of the more universal broadcasters in the industry is Mike Tirico. And during the Derby, and I wasn't watching, but apparently he did not sound too well. And a lot of people on Twitter recognized it.
Twitter.
They did. And people were like, it goes, what Twitter's like. It was more of,
Twitter's not a real
if he's not right, what's wrong with him, and, making fun and all that. So he stepped away from his role as the host for NBC at the Derby. And they had another guy fill in for him. And so it was revealed during the segment of the broadcast Saturday that Tirico got seriously ill from a peanut allergy or a nut allergy. And he had a reaction earlier in the day. He's doing fine now, but he was just going to sit this one out. And it's just, I was searching to see if there was any video of the time that people were talking about. I haven't seen anything, but this guy's been, the guy, staple of their coverage of the Derby for the last 8 years. And we know him from Sunday Night Football, and he does NBA, and he's just been in every Olympics. Like, he's done everything.
Yeah, man.
And he traveled to Churchill Downs and was featured in coverage up to the Derby. But anyway, I guess he's doing okay. And so the one thing that would jump out at you is, so how does a 58-year-old man accidentally stumble into a peanut or nut allergy?
Mm-hmm.
And I think he may have attended this Taste of the Derby or whatever. But if you know you have an allergy like that will, like Will Smith and Hitch, like shut you down, and your throat swells, and now breathing becomes difficult. You can't swallow, and you start. It's got to be panic.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if you knew that, because this can't be the first time he obviously knows he has this allergy, you're kind of asking yourself, like, this guy would never trust anything that he doesn't brown bag himself. Like,
correct.
Like, I can't even, like, I guess you could ask somebody, and it could be anything, right? It could be like peanut oil, or it could have been something. Yeah. I have no idea. I'm not his doctor. But that's the first thing I thought of is, we give these guys, the guys that are doing PEDs, like, how could you not have known? And you know what you're putting because everybody's excuse is always, I had no idea.
Yeah.
I trusted my trainer. But anyway, he's doing fine, and that's good news. But I guess that was it, that he had an allergic reaction, food allergy, that sidelined him for the 151st running.
You go to some of these parties, and I remember when we went to the Super Bowl party in Vegas 2 years ago now, and there's people walking around, and they just got trays of this, trays of that. And me, I was crushing those Caesar salads like all night that night. They didn't have like on the tray, like, this may contain like, nuts or whatever. Mm-hmm. Usually, sometimes you go to a restaurant, there's like a little asterisk that you next to whatever item you may order, and they have that information for you. So I could see how he stumbled into maybe grabbing something like that on the fly without there being like a little card or note on the tray. I don't know. I'm just trying to, in my mind, maybe paint a picture of how that could happen. I do have a friend of mine, though, who years ago had a horrible allergic reaction to peanuts. And he didn't know there's peanuts in this item. And it was spooky for a while, because what you described was real. And I was like, this dude can't breathe right now.
What is
like,
that?
It's anaphylactic
shock or whatever. It's life-threatening stuff.
Yeah.
And it's not just peanuts. Like, it's anything. It's almond, a cashew, you name it, a pistachio. Like, you
all
name
under
it.
that umbrella.
Yeah.
Are you allergic to anything?
No, I don't believe so.
See, here's that's what you said at the end is where I'm
a
at.
hard day's work.
I don't think I'm allergic to anything either, but I don't know.
Except pollen.
I'm a very allergic. I took that Zyrtec
but not
this
a
morning.
food allergy.
No, that I know of, which is terrifying because I should know that.
If you've gotten to this point in your life, you probably don't have one.
Good. Okay,
although
good.
You really don't.
That's what I'm saying.
You're vast. You don't stray outside the lines when it comes to food.
I really don't. TLC, you got any food allergies that you're aware of?
Nope.
Okay.
I got a good friend of mine, though, who's got a peanut allergy. So your friend, I hope, had his EpiPen at the ready.
That happened as well. That happened as well. But have you gotten tested so you've gotten a test to know whether you are allergic or not allergic to things? Or
he got tested, but it had nothing to do with food allergies.
No.
Is that right?
And that one came back clear as well, so we're all good.
Good
on
news.
That one.
Good news.
No, I don't recall ever getting tested. I mean, unless you're that happens when you're like an infant, but I was just told that I don't have allergies and said okay.
So the three of us are just all out here roaming free, not knowing
for now
whether or not we're allergic to certain foods or not. Yeah. It's great.
Now,
for us.
Here's the better question, though, and this is the tough one. Can you develop an allergy later in life where you can not think you have any allergies to anything, and then somehow later, is that possible?
I don't know.
All right.
Ask somebody a lot smarter than me.
So before Tirico was served a secret pistachio nut, unbeknownst to him, he sat down with Kay Adams, and she asked him the old Aaron Rodgers future question, and he's ready to welcome him back into the league.
In my soul, I want to see Aaron Rodgers in Pittsburgh because I always think Mike's teams, Tomlin's teams, have a chance to win almost every game. And to be candid, since Big Ben has not been there, that one play a game that the quarterback makes, that's an unscripted play that wasn't covered Monday through Saturday, he needs somebody to make that play. And Aaron showed at the end of last year he can still make that play. I would love to see that marriage of, you don't need to score 30 with the Steelers. You need to score 22. You need to score 19. Just get us down in position for a game-winning field goal. I still think he can do that often enough that I'd love to see that marriage happen. But as we get now to May, my confidence of that happening has diminished.
I'm with him in lockstep. I am. I think he has, what's the old saying, Maddie? I'm not as good as I once was, but I'm as good once as I ever was.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is, fellas.
Fantastic song.
I feel like he's that guy. I feel like that he's got a quarter in him, a game in him. He's not anybody you're going to build around. He's a guy that raises the floor if he's healthy. That's what he does. I can't tell you whether he raises the ceiling, but he certainly raises the floor, I think. And I don't know. The other rumor is that he got married.
Oh.
You know, all this personal stuff. So did you see? Okay. I suppose he had a ring on that finger.
He bent the knee, huh?
Well, who knows, right? It could be anything, right? It wasn't a glitzy ring. It didn't look like a gold wedding band.
Okay.
It just
a little ring pop?
It was on that. Yeah, I guess and then remember when he said last month that he was in a serious relationship and he wouldn't go any further into it, but. Yeah, so who knows?
Okay, good for him. Good for him.
Who knows?
The Steelers, I believe, need this to happen because if it's not him, then who is it going to be? Maybe they do go explore the whole Kirk Cousins thing. We shall see. I don't believe that they're going to want to consistently roll out there Mason Rudolph every single week, nor should they want to do that based off what we've seen from Mason Rudolph. He's a fine backup quarterback, but if you have him for an entire year, I just don't think you're going to be in the mix. So they need a quarterback that's going to come in there, make defenses respect the aerial attack, which has been bottom in the league the last couple years, 27th last year, 25th the year before in passing yards per game. That doesn't tell the entire story, but it tells part of it. And I think when you look at where their defense has been, some of the punch that they've got from the run game, they get anybody under center that's going to back defenses off and make them respect the weapons that I think can be really good if they do get that guy at quarterback with the addition now of DK Metcalf and you add him to Freiermuth and George Pickens. I like where they're at there with their pass catchers. So for Rodgers, for the Steelers, I do think this makes sense. It makes sense. We know this is not a long-term play. This is a year, maybe two, with a guy like this. But I think with their way their roster is constructed right now, the hope should be, if you're a Steelers fan, that you get this guy to come in because I do think he would be more productive than what they got last year and the years prior at that position.
So I think for any other franchise, this would be stupid. It would be stupid because the idea, if you're a bad franchise, is to tank and don't try to raise the floor. Just be who you are. And I'm not saying the Steelers will. Maybe they will. Maybe they're going to say this is who we are. They certainly passed on quarterbacks. But I think when you're the Steelers and you're Tomlin and you're in the competition business and you're in a very tough division, that you go to work every day thinking, how can we get better? You ask the question, does he make us better? And if your answer comes back unequivocally yes, then you get him. And whatever it turns out to be. If they're 9-8 again, then they're plenty used to that.
I agree.
And that's kind of who they are.
Fellas, you know what else can make you better? It's the Columbus Men's Clinic. If you've been feeling down, groggy, no energy, you go to the gym and you're like, man, I used to be able to go a whole hour without feeling tired. Now it's down to 15, 30 minutes. Get over to the Columbus Men's Clinic because if you've been waiting to treat your low T or ED, or maybe you had a bad experience with one of those clinics that they open quickly, they close, they're not very informative with all the information that you need to get, it's time to get on over to the CMC and move forward with your sex life, your career, and gym goals. They specialize in seeing guys who think they're out of luck regain hope that they can be successful in the bedroom and beyond. Seriously, go see the team that for 10 years, guys, has been number one in Ohio for men's health. Stop thinking about it and get on in there. Call 614-300-7400. That's 614-300-7400, or go online at columbusmensclinic.com to book an appointment today. Again, that's columbusmensclinic.com.
All right, we come back in 2 minutes. And where's Ohio State on the repeat scale? One analyst has them actually behind two very interesting teams. You'll hear it next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Progressive knows sports brings people together, but you gotta feel bad for people who don't even get it. Some people will never know what it's like to see their favorite team's hopes decided by a ping pong ball to draft the next superstar. Or not. I mean, sure, it's silly for your happiness to hinge on the success of a 20-year-old entry-level employee, but you just can't help yourself. The stress is exhilarating. Progressive can't bring people together like the draft, but we can bring your home and auto insurance together with a bundle. So switch and see if you could save hundreds. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and other insurers not available in all states or situations.
Military veterans and active duty service members, you could become a certified cyber warrior with just 12 weeks of training at My Computer Career. Cybersecurity specialists are in high demand, and IT pros with these skills often enjoy abundant opportunity and a great lifestyle. Protect our people, liberty, and treasured institutions from cyber threats. SkillBridge and other VA benefits are available to those who qualify. Learn more at mycomputercareer.edu/CWP. That's mycomputercareer.edu/CWP.
Home means something different to everyone. But with Rocket Mortgage, home can mean even more. It can mean a college education, taming your high-interest debt, even a renovation. We've made it easier than ever to use your home equity. That home you worked so hard for, now it can work hard for you. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states. NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Well, Trina, now you're in charge of ordering food for the office, so meet my mountain of menus.
So, this should be easy.
Easy as pie. You know the mathematical constant for a circle circumference to diameter ratio, pi? It's super complicated.
In that case, I'll be using EasyCater. It's got everything on one simple platform. Tons of restaurants, dietary preferences, even digital receipts.
But my mountain of menus.
How about I order us some pie?
EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
A perfect afternoon parlay. This is Rothman and Ice.
All right. Where's Ohio State on this repeat list? I think everybody is still basking in the glow. I'm not here to tell you that once the season starts, then the intensity flips again for Buckeye Nation. Then you're not, this is not the Chicago White Sox, fans celebrating a World Series from 20 years ago. This is new year, same expectations. You line up every game. You got as good a talent or better than most. But the weird part about this is there are two teams that they will actually play that one analyst thinks right now would be better than them. That's very interesting. And I'm talking about you-know-who on their schedule. Both home games, though. Here's Joel Klatt sizing up them.
All right, we're going to start with him talking about Texas.
It's officially Arch Manning time. I believe he is going to be my Heisman frontrunner to begin the year. I think he can have that impact and that large of a season. They get C.J. Baxter back. I think the biggest concern for me with Texas is that they're replacing a lot on the offensive line. That is a bit concerning. They're going to be young but talented at wide receiver. The defense should be excellent, and it should give that offensive line a little bit of time to get their feet wet. Colin Simmons is a star at defensive end. Anthony Hill, he's going to play All-American level at linebacker. Michael Taff is a terrific leader at the safety position, so they're good at every level of defense. They hit the portal hard to reinforce the defensive line. Steve Sarkisian has built a program that is a preeminent program in college football. You don't have to ask if Texas is back. They are absolutely back. They've been in the national semifinals in 2 straight years, and they may get past that this year. They will start for me at number 2.
All right, a couple things. One, I'm glad he didn't gloss over rebuilding their offensive line and replacing key receivers. That's not nothing. That's not Arch Manning can't erase that. In fact, you could make the case that will directly impact how good he can be. On the positive side for Texas is that there were questions in their first season in the SEC. How could they prove that they were enough? And they did that. I thought more than proved. So like you said, you reach the SEC title game, you get to the college football playoff semifinals, you have a chance to tie up Ohio State late in that game. So I don't really have a huge problem with him naming Texas over Ohio State, because I think every year is different. I never subscribed to the theory, well, if you were the champs before, you have to start number 1. Of course not. The rosters are different. It wouldn't make any sense. This whole, to be number 1, you got to beat number 1. No. It
to changes, be the man, you got to beat the man?
It changes every year. Well, maybe in individual sports, but not like wrestling, but not not football. So where are you? They lost Ewers. They lose Matthew Golden to the Packers.
Banks was a first-round
line.
pick. Yeah.
Right, Kelvin Banks Jr.
He was the one that had the baby next to him at the draft.
Growing up in New Orleans.
Yeah.
Get the baby.
He wasn't holding the baby.
He wasn't.
So I'm not going to. Who's holding the baby? Like, he was not holding the baby.
Yeah.
But the baby was getting jostled around pretty good.
It was tough. And then throwing up. Yeah, it was a tough look
I didn't catch
for the baby. Oh, yeah, there was some
puking.
zooming in. There was a little
Really?
bit with
that was the whole point.
You mean spit up?
Spit up.
Okay.
Yeah, spit up, throw up. It's the same thing, AR. But, yeah, the baby getting elbowed and bounced around a little bit. Yeah, a little spit up came out of it. It was a tough day.
I believe Texas is replacing 4 of 5 linemen.
That's very good information because that is such a key thing to hone in on. While Sark absolutely has built Texas back up, I completely agree with Joe Klatt. What he said, that question is now put to bed. They're here. And I think they're going to be here to stay for a while. When you have what I believe is more of a known commodity at quarterback right now, I can understand why a guy like Klatt would look at that over what Ohio State has and some uncertainty at the quarterback position, even though we know there's talented dudes in that room, and lean towards Texas right now. I cannot wait for that game. The eyes of the college football world will be on that game. I will give Sark this. You look at what he's been able to put into the NFL over the last couple of days down there in the trenches on both sides of the ball. They've had some linemen go on the defensive line last couple of years pretty high up in the draft, and you just laid out AR guy that they had this past year in Banks go in the top 10. I believe it was 9th overall to New Orleans. Do I have that right? 9th overall. So it seems like Sarks has the ability to restock the cabinet with good guys down there in the trenches. And that was the one question I had with them going over to the SEC is, will you be able to hang with the Bamas and the Georgia, specifically that Georgia program that's shown, hey, Kirby Smart's going to have absolute menaces coming off that defensive line, and that's where their program is, and that's what he has built. And so they've got that game week 1 here in Columbus. Another test will come for them. You go down to the Swamp. That can always be a tough environment on October 4th. But the game for them, outside of the Ohio State game on August 30th, will be November 15th at Georgia. That game is going to have what could be a lot on the line when you think about where Georgia probably will be in the preseason rankings, where Texas will be, Kirby, Sark going at it on November 15th down there in Athens. Could be a lot on the line in that game for SEC implications, but more importantly, seeding for the college football playoff as well.
Yeah. Going to Florida, taking on A&M.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's a gauntlet. But the other part is that even though, and you and I, we follow the portal, you see some guys they add, but it's very hard to handicap teams now with the portal. But losing those guys, the defensive backs too, this is, if I asked you guys, like, who's it a bigger test for, Texas or Ohio State? The answer is both. The answer is, it's boring, but it is both. I think this is a massive test for Arch Manning. Coming in here, game 1, playing in front of that crowd against that defense should be a massive test. And then on the flip side, it's a young first-year starting quarterback for Ohio State having to go up against that Texas team. Even though the top 4 defensive backs are leaving, they added linebacker, they added defensive linemen. So they do have a lot of talent. The other team they're going to play that Klatt likes ahead of Ohio State is Penn State.
They're following the blueprint of the teams that have just won the national championship. This is why I am putting them in this spot. You look at what Michigan did in 2023. You look at what Ohio State did in 2024. Both of those teams had a core group of veteran players stay. I like this team. I like this team a lot. Penn State has proven, really for a number of years, they will absolutely take care of business. They will beat the teams that they should beat. What we haven't seen from Penn State is them rise up and win the game that I would call a matchup game. When they're looking across and the talent is equated and they may even be a bit of an underdog, can they win that game? Because up until this point, they haven't. Can they? Yes. I absolutely believe that they can. You know, they beat SMU, they beat Boise State, but then they lose to Notre Dame. We see this in the Big Ten schedule where they haven't been able to beat the Michigans of the world and the Ohio States. They were close. I mean, they were close. They had 1st and goal inside the 5 to tie the game in the 4th quarter against Ohio State, but they didn't. So that's the next step. I believe they will take the next step.
Here's the question that I have, and we should probably get on to Penn State, beat writer or someone that covers the team soon, because that narrative is out there, AR, but is it exactly what Michigan and Ohio State did? Because the two teams that just won the Natty, Wolverines, Buckeyes, it was a lot of depth that they brought back. Like, to me, if you're talking about the Penn State team that we're going to see this upcoming year with Abdul Carter, with Tyler Warren still in place, like, I know they've got Allen and Singleton and Drew Aller, but outside of that, like, what dominant forces are they really bringing back? So I'd love to talk to somebody that covers the team, because that narrative is there, that they're taking the blueprint or trying to take the blueprint from Michigan and Ohio State to do the same thing and have, the Big Ten maybe go 3 years in a row of winning the national championship. But it all starts and ends with Drew Aller and the leap that he's going to make. That's it. This year, going back actually 2 years, he looked fine. This past year, you get a new offensive coordinator in there. Their offense did look better. But is he going to be ready to be that dude and take over games and dominate from within the pocket? That's what I cannot wait to see. He should have the opportunity to do that based off the balance that he will get from that running back room. But is it really an apples-to-apples comparison, or are we only doing that because of the top three names are coming back? How much veteran depth do they really have? That I don't know just yet.
I think he nailed it as far as, them looking the part now with Aller and having those guys come back. But they cannot be trusted yet. Like he said, every big game, Oregon, Notre Dame, those you got to win. Now, I'm not taking playoff wins away from them. That wouldn't be fair. I think you can put them into context and say when you take on an 11 seed SMU and a 3 seed in Boise, that maybe they weren't worth what they're, especially Boise. Mm-hmm. But no, they've got to prove that they can beat a big boy when it matters most. And while they maybe got over a mental hurdle, I'm thinking their confidence has to be better, because, you lay an egg in the playoff at home against SMU, then all of a sudden, whatever you did before then is not going to work for you. But I think getting as far as they did, playing aggressive to try to win it at the end of regulation in a tie game, came back to haunt them. I agree. And Aller made a wrong decision at the time under pressure, which he's human. But I'm with you. If he is the part, then all of a sudden they played Ohio State as tough as anyone could play them. And it took some great plays on both sides of the ball. Yeah. And Ohio State wins that game. But they had him right where they wanted him, like you said, and couldn't put the nail in him. And I think that's the definition of Penn State. Like, where are you when it matters most? Can they coach it? Can they execute it when it matters most? But he's got him ahead of Ohio State. And Ohio State gets both those teams at home, which theoretically should make a pretty big difference. We come back with a Buckeye Bulletin, and a picture may be worth a lot of words when it comes to the Buckeyes and recruiting. We'll tell you next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
If you miss a live show, you can catch the podcast. If you miss the podcast, our hosts have volunteered to have dinner with you.
Ma, the meatloaf!
The Fan.
When an orthopedic injury or condition gets in the way of life, there is nothing more important than finding a physician you can trust. At Orthopedic One, you'll find Central Ohio's most trusted team of orthopedic experts, ready to listen to your concerns and work with you toward the best possible outcome. In fact, more people trust Orthopedic One than any other practice in Central Ohio. Start with the specialists. Start with orthopedic1.com.
Attention kingdom-seeking business professionals, entrepreneurs, and investors in Columbus. Are you ready to experience a life-changing event that will elevate your faith, finances, and future in 2025? Then you won't want to miss this. Join us for Life Search, featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center for an extraordinary one-day event that will empower you to transform every area of your life through the power of faith. Prepare to be inspired by an incredible lineup of champions, including college football champions Jeremiah Smith and Caleb Downs, 3-time national champion head coach Urban Meyer, sportscaster Kirk Herbstreit, 2-time national football champion Tim Tebow, and more. These champions have experienced firsthand how faith transforms lives, and they'll be joining Life Search to share their powerful stories and insights on how to integrate faith into your business, finances, and every aspect of your journey. Seats are selling fast to this unforgettable event, so don't wait. Head to LifeSearch.com now to secure your tickets before they're gone. Life Search featuring Champions of Faith, Saturday, May 10th at the Schottenstein Center. Don't miss out. Your transformation begins here. Visit LifeSearch.com today.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone. Guys, listen up. How many of you out there have been diagnosed with sleep apnea? Maybe your partner can't tolerate your snoring every night. You can't stand your CPAP machine. I totally get it. But the good news is there are alternatives to the CPAP machine. And Dr. Mark Levy is here to change your sleep and your life. Trust me, your spouse will thank you later. Dr. Mark Levy can customize an oral appliance that opens your airways, helps you breathe better, and of course, stops your snoring. That's the main point. It's quick and comfortable and an alternative to those bulky, loud CPAP machines you always hear about. For over 15 years, Dr. Mark Levy has led the way when it comes to treating snoring and sleep apnea, and now he's expanding his practice to better serve his patients with a brand new location in Marysville. I love Marysville. If you're snoring and not sleeping, you need to call Dr. Mark Levy's office today. Do not delay. Schedule your appointment today with Dr. Mark Levy at 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. That's 1-800-MORE-SLEEP. You can also visit him online at sleepbettercolumbus.com. And now, sleepbettermarysville.com too.
This spring, celebrate the sparkle that she brings to your life with something that sparkles right back. Whether it's for Mother's Day, an anniversary, or just because, Diamond Cellar has the perfect gift for the women who mean the world to you. Visit Diamond Cellar today on Selma Road and at Easton Town Center.
Come into your local AAA Car Care Plus and get a $39.99 full synthetic oil change plus a free tire rotation. Only at AAA Car Care Plus locations. And on the plus side, AAA members save more. Restrictions apply. Offer ends May 31st. See store for details.
What's the best way to make sure you don't miss any of your favorite fan shows? Oh no. Download the Fan app, silly.
Ah, damn it, I knew that.
App Store, Google Play, or just scream right at your phone. Psst, you can also listen to Buckeye games. Do it now.
Oh, these polymers aren't as flexible as batch K3.
Researcher Laurie is stretched thin.
Did you get the vulcanization analytics from V66? Wait, are these rubber scores from last week?
She needs to hire new lab technicians so she can bounce back into her old self.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our matching platform lets you spend less time searching and more time connecting with candidates. Redeem your $75 credit at Indeed.com/credit. Terms and conditions apply.
Mother's Day is coming up fast and you don't want to drop the ball. Show the incredible moms in your life how much you love and appreciate them with a thoughtful gift from Pro Flowers. Ordering takes just minutes, and Pro Flowers' large selection of modern arrangements at affordable prices are sure to make you look like a gift-giving pro. Visit proflowers.com/sports or use the code SPORTS at checkout for $15 off your Mother's Day order. All Pro Flowers orders are backed by our 7-day freshness guarantee, so you can gift easy with Pro Flowers.
The Fan Poll is brought to you by Caster Connection. Visit CasterConnection.com to shop online or to work with our Caster Solution specialists.
Rothman and Ice present Buckeye Bulletin.
Sponsored by Logan AC and Heat Services. Don't go through another air conditioner breakdown. For fast, friendly service, call the experts at Logan Services now for a free estimate and next day air installation.
All right, a little boom news for Ohio State. Yesterday, this is a pretty big-time wideout, and he posted a photo on Twitter about an hour after it kind of broke from On3 that he had committed to Ohio State. He posted a picture. Have you guys seen the picture?
No, I haven't. I just saw a quote from him, but I haven't seen a picture. What do you got?
It was a picture of Heartline smoking a cigar, just looking into, like, I assume on recruiting visit or something.
Like Joey B after winning the Natty in New Orleans?
Like that's on
the couch? The Cartier frames.
This one's a little different. I don't think Joey was looking into the lens.
The flyer picture.
I think this is basically saying, without saying, this is my new OC.
Okay, this is my guy.
I'm going to assume that. So he is a top 15 receiver in the 26 recruiting class. 24/7 Sports has him rated as 15, the number 15 California prospect, and number 107 overall recruit in the class. Do we have any specs on the young man? 6'2", 180.
Yeah.
From the fighting city of Oakland, California.
Can work with that.
Chose Ohio State over Oregon and Bama.
And that's a big deal. That's a big deal, man. You steal a guy out of Lincoln Riley's backyard. You mentioned Dan Lanning doesn't get him. And those are going to be two key competitors for Ryan Day and Heartline for a while, especially Oregon, with what we've seen them do on the recruiting trail and some of the rumors coming out of Eugene with how supportive financially Phil Knight is, with that being his alma mater. But Coach Heartline, Coach Day continue to get it done. And I saw a quote from Caden Dixon Wyatt, and he said, AR.
KD Dub?
KD Dub.
Can I go with that?
Maybe, ask him first.
All right, sorry.
But on our show, he could be KD Dub right now. He says this, quote, If you want to be an elite receiver, you go to Ohio State. That's the reputation that this program has built specifically with that unit. And there's been kids that have watched for now years and years that may know the name, like a Chris Carter and a David Boston and some of those guys, but didn't see them play. But now you just got this runway of guys, the Michael Thomas, the Garrett Wilsons, the Terry McLaurin, this era of high school kids that grew up watching those guys, but more importantly, watched them go into the league and play at a high level as well. It's Ohio State and LSU that have that crown or fight for that crown of wide receiver U, and both can make very strong cases. But that quote is big time. Like, if you want to be that guy, if you want to get your skills fine-tuned as sharp as they possibly can, you come to the lab and you get coached up by Coach McMurray to get your body right and get your skill set right with Coach Hartline. So they just continue to do their thing. That 2026 class now, AR, ranks third in the country behind USC and Notre Dame. USC has 27 commits in their class. Notre Dame has 14. Ohio State only has 12, and they're already top 3 after the addition of Dixon.
So Katie Dubb is also the high school teammate of Chris Henry Jr.
Okay, there you go.
Who's the top commitment in the class. So that helps. The other thing about this, and I agree with you on Ohio State's reputation now is crazy amazing as far as receivers, and there's evidence of it here and in the pros. But this is going to be an interesting year with a brand new quarterback on the production you get. Now, against overmatched teams, they should be slinging it all over the place like always. It'll be very interesting against some of the big boys how this offense develops, how the passing game develops because of the quarterbacks that we're used to seeing out there. And right now, Ryan Day says it's neck and neck anyway between. So we don't really know for sure. I think we had a pretty good lean on Howard and how they acquired him.
Yeah.
That it would have been a major upset if you acquired him for all that and then he was the backup. But here we are. So a nice boom for them.
I think it's going to be so important for whoever is the guy, Lincoln or Julian. We'll see what Tavian can do when they get rolling for fall and all that stuff. But I think Coach Lachlan, his room can really benefit the quarterback early on in the season. Because if defenses are fearful of that running back room and that offensive line carving out, 4 yards a pop, 5 yards a pop, then I will clean up the windows for this quarterback from week 1 on down. And then you start to get into the stuff where it's like, okay, they respect the run game so much, we'll hit you with play action. Then those playmakers on the outside are going to get themselves into some advantageous situations as well. And so I think that's going to be critical early on is Donaldson and James Peoples and Bo Jackson and in that room of playmakers, how dominant can they be? And can they force teams to try to load up the box? And if you do get that with Carnell and Jeremiah on the outside, then you're really on to something. So the quarterback has to do their part. We all know that. They've got to get, the huddle clean, get the play calls in, get a nice rhythm going offensively. But, man, that run game to me is going to be paramount for them to get cooking early on, because if that's the case, that'll help out a veteran quarterback, young quarterback, doesn't matter. It just makes life easier for whoever your quarterback is.
All right, that is your Buckeye Bulletin for today. When we come back, top of the hour, SportsCenter update. Will the biggest rival have anything to play for when it comes to the game this year? We'll bring you up to date on the latest surrounding Michigan. That's next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
We test marketed naming the show A Guy and His Butlers.
Oh, that is very touching.
But we thought Bishop and Friends had a better ring to it.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Right now, you can save on fresh medium avocados or delicious honey mangoes. Just 69 cents each with your digital coupon. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Guys, what's up? It's Matty Ice, and I'm here with Wendy's. And if you're looking for your next sandwich love, check out the Cajun Crunch Chicken Sandwich. This sandwich really has me feeling the heat, and it's packed with bold Cajun flavors that add that perfect little kick. Plus, it's topped with crispy onions that give it a satisfying crunch in every single bite. And did I mention this is all on top of Wendy's iconic spicy chicken sandwich? So if you love that, you have to get your hands on this Cajun Crunch Chicken Sandwich before it's gone. For that little extra kick, it's got to be Wendy's. Open until midnight or later.
AmeriHealth Caritas Ohio is your Medicaid plan for more. More benefits, more rewards.
We know that good health means more than just seeing a doctor when you're sick. Eligible members can receive extras like home-delivered meals and family essentials, like baby carriers and kids' school supplies. Members can even earn rewards for playing mobile health trivia games. Learn more at AmeriHealthCaritasOH.com and call the Ohio Medicaid Consumer Hotline at 1-800-324-8680 to choose AmeriHealth Caritas Ohio.
Common Man here for Weed Man. I always have the greenest lawn in the neighborhood. It's luscious. I swear by two things, water and Weed Man. Weed Man is locally owned and operated by Corbin and Audrey. They will make sure your lawn is weed-free and looking gorgeous. Of course, they get rid of weeds, but they also do aeration, mosquito control, grub control, crabgrass prevention, and flea and tick control for your four-legged friends. For a free quote, give them a call, 614-733-3747, weedmanusa.com. Tell them Common Man sent you.
We've all got it, you know, that one crazy thing you've always wanted to do, that bucket list goal. Then a cancer diagnosis, and that one thing still goes according to plan. I would know I'm getting my first tattoo right now, while my 3 beautiful daughters laugh hysterically at me. 58 years old, 4 years of cancer-free checkups at Ohio Health. Go ahead and get a picture, girls. You keep making plans.
Visit ohiohealth.com/keepmakingplans.
Spring is here and it's time for a fresh start, starting with your ride. At Germain Toyota, we've got an offer that'll drive you into the season in style. Get behind the wheel of a 2025 Toyota Tundra SR5 today for just $499 a month. That's right, a powerful, rugged Tundra, just like the one I'm driving, for $449 a month for 36 months. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road, or online at germaintoyota.net. $39.99 down, 36-month lease, plus tax, title, and fees. No security deposit required with approved credit. Offer ends soon. See dealer for details.
Home means something different to everyone. But with Rocket Mortgage, home can mean even more. It can mean a college education, taming your high-interest debt, even a renovation. We've made it easier than ever to use your home equity. That home you worked so hard for, now it can work hard for you. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Well, Trina, now you're in charge of ordering food for the office, so meet my mountain of menus.
So this should be easy.
Easy as pie. You know the mathematical constant for a circle circumference to diameter ratio, pi? It's super complicated.
In that case, I'll be using EasyCater. It's got everything on one simple platform. Tons of restaurants, dietary preferences, even digital receipts.
But my mountain of menus.
How about I order us some pie?
EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN. Are you ready for the NFL season? The schedule release is coming, and we know the best place to get your tickets this year. My friends at Vivid Seats. They're seriously legit, and you earn rewards on every purchase. That's basically free football games. When that schedule hits, don't wait around. For the best selection and all the great deals, head to vividseats.com or download the app and lock in your game days now.
Get a taste of that winning feeling before the buzzer even sounds with ESPN Bet's Early Victory promo. Simply place a pregame moneyline bet on any NBA playoff game, and if the team you back goes up by 20 or more points at any point in the game, you get paid out early. Available throughout the NBA playoffs at ESPN Bet Sportsbook. Download the app today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem. Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details.
Broadcasting from the Lindsay Honda Studios.
Honda makes the cars. Lindsay makes the difference. Visit lindsayhonda.com.
WBNS-FM, HD1 Columbus. The Fan. Sports Center.
Good afternoon. I'm Ryan Baker. The University of Michigan is trying to jump out in front of NCAA penalties for the Connor Stallions situation, so they're imposing a 2-game suspension for head coach Sherrone Moore. Moore will miss weeks 3 and 4 against Central Michigan and Nebraska. He's barred from any team-related duties during those weeks. The Cleveland Guardians and the Cincinnati Reds both hit the road tonight to start new series. Cleveland is in Washington to face the Nationals at 6:45. The Reds head to Atlanta to face the Braves at 7:15. You can hear that over on ESPN Columbus beginning at 6:45. NBA playoffs this evening. The Celtics hosting the Knicks at 7. Denver heads to OKC at 9:30. Stanley Cup playoffs. Toronto hosts Florida at 8. This one brought to you by Germain Toyota, the best selection of new and used cars in Central Ohio. View that selection online at germaintoyota.net.
Most shows just skim the surface, but Rothman and Ice feel like the biggest story of the day deserves a closer look. It's time for a deeper dive.
Sponsored by Low T Center. Low T Center, reinventing men's healthcare.
All right, final hour of the program here on a Monday, Rothman and Ice.
Coming up next Monday, we got a lineup change here at the Fan. So here's what's happening. Listen closely. 6 to 9 in the morning will now be T-Bone and Tyvis. The national champ Tyvis Powell will be rocking out for 3 hours every morning starting next Monday from 6 to 9. 9 a.m. to noon, nothing changes. That will still be Bishop and Friends. Noon to 3, our time slot will stay the same. Matty Ice, AR, TLC will be here for you from noon to 3 every day. And then we'll hand things over to the new 3 to 6 show, which would be Common Man and Timmy. Timmy Hall's sliding up from the Buckeye Show. He will be now with Common Man from 3 to 6. And then the Buckeye Show now will be hosted by our guy Brandon Beam from 6 to 8 p.m. So those are the new changes coming. That's our new lineup. And it all starts next Monday, May 12th, right here on The Fan.
Reading this real quickly, Stephen A's rules when hosting First Take. Number 1, wait to speak until called upon by host. Well, it's violated on this show constantly. 2, no cussing. 3, address him as Stephen A. or as Mr. Stephen A. I don't know if TLC would like that. They took the graphic off the screen. I didn't get the last 2. But you will address him.
Oh, man. As Mr. Stephen A. He must be feeling himself today because it's probably
pretty funny.
Because of the Knicks. The Knicks are playing tonight. They get their round 1 matchup against Boston. 2 entertaining series could be on the way. Eastern Conference side of things. Cavs got to lock back in. They take one on the chin. I'll be at Denver OKC tonight and Knicks and the Boston Celtics tonight as well. Should be fun.
Is it true that we're changing the fan slogan to "You can't tell the players without a scorecard"? Is that true?
I don't think
so. Is that going to happen?
I don't think so.
All right. Let's get into this Michigan thing. You've heard the news. This is not hitting very high on the Richter scale. This is Michigan trying to, in real time, navigate the waters of the residual effect of the sign stealing scandal by Connor Stallions. Michigan has felt that they could play the coach is gone, guy is gone, the perpetrator's gone, it all went out with him. You know, they've played this we did nothing wrong card for a while. Now, maybe deep down, they would have gambled with this easily. A lot of programs have. And when there's desperation, remember Harbaugh's great comment when they asked him about beating Ohio State? And he said, we're going to beat them or die trying. I liked it. I liked the phrasing of it. And because that's all you can say. That's all you can say.
I thought he was quoting some 50 Cent, like the 50 Cent album, Get Rich or Die Trying.
It could be. I don't know. Maybe it goes back even before that. Like, I love the people who think that somehow pressure is a privilege was coined like last week. It's like Billie Jean King did like decades and decades ago. But, and maybe even someone before her did it. So, but I did like the phrasing. And so it's one of those things that they were a desperate program. Mm-hmm. They justified it. A lot of teams cut corners. A lot. How much you cut corners, how much you can justify, what it leads to, what's the gamble, is it worth it? Let's weigh the up and down. Can we cut this guy loose if it's ever found out? Will it ever trace back to us? The real danger of it for them was not that they were just taking his info. They felt they needed him there in live time. That, to me, is the biggest red flag of all of this. Yeah. And I don't know if Harbaugh's ever been asked that question. Why was that guy so important that you needed him next to you during games? Now, if he is your, quote, sign stealer, that's okay, because teams are allowed to have guys that are trying to figure out the signs. And so maybe that would have been a plausible answer, but I don't know if he's ever been asked that.
It was more about the process of how he got the signs.
Of course, but wouldn't it have been better, Matty, if Connor Stalions did all this but wasn't around during the games?
No doubt. That makes it look a lot better. You're all over it, AR, and that's why I'm not buying anything that they're selling. That's why I'm not buying what they're trying to do with getting out in front of what's coming from the NCAA, whatever that is. But they're trying to slap themselves on the wrist and say, hey, look, we got it. We're taking care of our own punishment over here. Take it easy. Take it easy on us when you guys come down and hit us with that Thor hammer, which I don't think that they should do. So now you have this self-imposed punishment, self-imposed suspension coming from inside their own four walls, but it's still a joke how they're going about that because of the games that he is going to miss. When you look at their schedule and you look at when he will be back and all of those things, I mean, you're talking about a head coach in Sherrone Moore that is going to miss the games against Central Michigan on September 13th and a week later at Nebraska. The game he ain't missing is one of their biggest games of the year at Oklahoma. And so all the evidence.
Tell him why.
Well, because that's his alma mater, AR. That's his alma mater. So it's a two pointed thing here. It's his alma mater, and outside of the game, obviously the end of the year when they host Ohio State, you don't really look at their schedule and say, okay, there's a lot of bangers. They don't play Penn State. They don't play Oregon. You know what I mean? And so they go to USC, no idea what that's going to look like. Their schedule's fairly light outside of the Oklahoma game and the Ohio State game. So they've identified that game as a game to where they want their head coach on the sideline. That, to me, is a joke. Like, if you're really going to put yourself under your own punishment, take away the biggest game of the year. Take away your second biggest game of the year, but they're not doing that. And so he's been in these allegations for a while, deleted a whole bunch of text messages with Connor Stalions. I think it was north of 50 of those. That told me everything I needed to know. So you have the deleted text messages. You have what you mentioned, where Connor Stalions was so important to their program that during the most important day of the week, which is game day, he was in the back pocket of coordinators and the head coach relaying information to the players on the fly. That way they could go out, and they're already talented players are playing in the Big Ten, but it makes the life easier when you got the answers to the test. And they're not fooling me. They never will fool me. And so for the NCAA, I would rip away their opportunity to play in the postseason. That's probably not going to happen, but outside of scholarships, that's where you really hurt them. We had Brad Crawford on earlier, and he talked about you missed the playoff. That's millions of dollars that your program is not getting. So that's where they got to hit them, to me.
That's it. It's the only way you can really hurt them, although the same people would probably say that they're printing money anyway, and that's not where you really hurt them. Where you hurt them is trying to limit their ability to recruit players. Yeah. But I don't know if, or you somehow, I don't know if this is enforceable, that you would limit their ability to pay players. Because then nobody would go. Like, or at least cap it somehow. Like, and I don't know if we're ever going to get to that, where college football programs will have a salary cap. Mm-hmm. Now, nothing's going to change as far as the big programs being able to afford more than the little ones. I said to you the other day, there were some fun stories in the college football playoff. It was as slanted as you could make it to help out the Arizona States, the Boise States.
SMU.
You gave well, SMU at least had to start on the road. I think they were in 11. But I mean, they didn't get a bye.
You're talking about the teams with the bye.
It was just slanted so much to help Cinderella, whatever, maybe get a shot at this thing. Mm-hmm. And look what happened. It didn't. Nothing changed. You had, what was your seed? What was Notre Dame? TLC 7?
Yeah.
Was that 8-7?
7.
In the final? Mm-hmm. 8 versus, like, those were your typical underdogs. Those were your massive, talented programs. Yeah. And I said before the expanded playoff even started, the last team you probably wanted to see was Ohio State. That team circling around with 2 losses with something to play for. Now, we didn't know if they would fight as hard as they fought, and they did, and that's a credit to them. But these programs that have massive amounts of money, the only way you can truly hurt them is, from a competitive standpoint, is try to limit their ability to acquire talent.
That's real.
Because they can buy their way out of anything.
That's how they got Bryce Underwood.
Yes.
That's how they got Bryce Underwood. Bryce Underwood was committed to LSU, locked in with Brian Kelly, and they said, we can't have this. This is a kid from our own backyard who is a top 3, top 2, whatever recruiting rankings you want to look at his position. We can't let him go down there. Where's the money? They found it. They found millions of dollars to have him flip his commitment from being a Tiger to being a Wolverine. So I think it's a great point that you brought up. In this era of college football, that's another way that you can hurt a program. So it could be financially with NIL. It can turn off kids if they know, hey, yeah, I can go to Michigan, but for this year or that year, we won't have the ability to play for it all.
That's huge, too.
That's a turnoff.
But as long as they're getting paid gobs of money,
they may not care.
It maybe can lessen the blow, but I hear what you're saying.
They may not care. So it doesn't feel to me, AR, that the NCAA will do that. Maybe we get the punishment in the form of scholarships being ripped away and some other stuff.
I think they're going to come back and lop on more games. That's what I think.
For more?
I think Michigan, by Michigan offering up 2, that probably says to me that Michigan knows they're getting at least 4.
And it should be the first 4.
Yeah, I think that somehow
first 4
they could. Yeah, by the way, here's the other thing. If he really did something wrong, which Michigan is pretty much admitting, why would you be suspending your head coach if you felt this was undeserving?
Yeah.
In fact, you'd be going to the end of the world to protect him as much as you could. So they offer him up for 2 games. Let's handpick him. All right, let's just do it. Sherrone, you got to fall on the sword here. We're going to get you the Oklahoma game. Like, to me, where's the punishment? There is no punishment. The NCAA has to come in then. So Michigan doing this probably wanted at least, what should I say, put their best foot forward in a way and make the NCAA believe that they want to cooperate and work with them. And, hey, stop sniffing around. We're going to give you 2 games. You give them another game. But you basically admitted that you protected the most important game to him outside of Ohio State.
Correct.
You protected the one that has the most emotion outside of the Buckeyes. That was his alma mater, where he played and coached.
Yep.
It's
make him miss that game.
It's kind of, it just makes you feel dirty. But I'm not saying that they're the only team doing it, but they did it to a degree that they have to pay a price. And not just offering up 2 games, the coach. And by the way, are they paying him for those games?
The ones he's missing?
Yeah, I don't know.
Haven't seen that.
You wouldn't think, but I wouldn't doubt it if he was still getting paid. So this is kind of where we are. They figured it was done. With Stallions gone and Harbaugh done, they figured it was done. And I think they're going to figure wrong. But I don't think it's going to be a hammer to the point where they're going to tell these current players, well, you can make the playoff, but the committee can't take you. I don't think we're going to get to that.
I don't think so either, but I would be in favor of that happening for what they did. Because that punishment fits the crime, in my opinion.
But we're running into that case again where, and I'm with you, because these people say, well, why punish people that had nothing to do with it? Because, unfortunately, those other people, you put faith in a program that lied and cheated.
Yeah.
It's not your fault, but you're going to be some damage there.
Unfortunately for those players, the guys that are just there coming in via the portal or the old school way in the recruiting trail, they may not have had direct, connection to that, but their head coach did. So as long as he's there, this has got to fall at his feet in the program's feet.
And they're hoping the 2 games is enough.
And it ain't.
The ones that they handpicked.
It's a joke.
I don't think it won't be. All right, when we come back, the NFL draft for 2027 has been announced. Quite a cool backdrop. We'll tell you where it is next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
A lot has changed in 30 years, but we're still that old shoe that feels worn in and well-loved. And, well, we smell a little, but you've accepted that. The Fan.
Newman Roofing, as part of their 2025 Commitment to Community initiative, is proud to partner with 10 TV and the Fan to launch Raise the Roof, honoring local heroes. This week, we salute U.S. Navy veteran Ronald Jordan. For over 25 years, Ronald has served our country and community, flying critical missions, protecting top officials, and keeping our streets safe as a Springfield police officer and homicide detective. With retirement around the corner, he's looking forward to traveling with his wife. Thank you, Ronald, for a lifetime of service.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. I know firsthand what it's like to battle through joint pain. After years of the hard hits and the wear and tear on the field, I thought pain, it was just going to be something I had to live with. Let me tell you, that's no longer the case thanks to QC Kinetics. For over 8 years, QC Kinetics has been leading the charge nationwide in non-surgical joint pain relief, helping over 50,000 patients get back to doing what they love, pain-free. Whether it's your knees, back, hips, shoulders, you pick it. If joint pain's been slowing you down, you need to hear about what Dr. Aaron Walkoff and his team in Columbus are doing. They're using cutting-edge regenerative medicine, natural biologic treatments with powerful healing properties to repair and restore damaged joint tissue. No surgery, no drugs, and no downtime. Just real results. The kind of treatment I wish I had access to during my playing days, and now you do. Imagine this summer playing around a golf, chasing the kids, and just enjoying a walk without the pain. Go to qckinetics.com/Columbus or call 380-228-4544. They now have offices in Grove City and Canal Winchester.
I'm an old school Joe, and my philosophy is simple and effective. At the end of the day, it's not what you win or lose, it's what you save. And betting reduced juice at Prime Sports Ohio is the way to save money on every single bet. Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Hey folks, it's Austin Ward here with a challenge. Well, a challenge might not be the best choice of words, so let's say an opportunity. Take the opportunity to lose 40 by the 4th with Awaken 180. Has a different ring to it when you have a finish line, doesn't it? 40 by the 4th. Maybe you looked at the scale this morning and it read 230 pounds. How about it reading 190 by the 4th of July? Maybe the scale says 300. Wouldn't the 260 number be a little nicer on your eyes and on your knees? It's attainable if you have the same results we all had with Awaken 180. I dropped 40 pounds in just 8 weeks. There's no reason you can't drop 40 by the 4th and be feeling as great as I still do now. Ring Independence Day in healthy, confident, and most important, feeling happy. You reached your goal with the help of Awaken 180. So fire up your grill and grab your beverage of choice because the weight's staying off thanks to free support for life. 40 by the 4th. Set your goal and reach it. Reserve your consultation online at awaken180weightloss.com.
After an audit of our programming, the suits here at The Fan decided we needed more baseball. And that common man is stupid. Good news. We fixed one of those problems. Catch the Reds on The Fan all season long. Yay, baseball.
Hello, it's John Kozik, founder and president of TurboTrack Realty. Do you want to sell your property, however, you need a little help getting through the process? Let's say you have years of belongings in the home. It needs a lot of updating, you're overwhelmed, and you may need help finding a place to go. I will help you. Visit us today at TurboTrackRealty.com or call me now for an all-cash offer and, more importantly, the help you need at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Most Ohioans believe every student, regardless of zip code, income, or background, deserves a great public education. And it's Ohio's dedicated public school educators who make that possible. This Teacher Appreciation Week, join the Ohio Education Association in saying thank you. Tell us about a teacher making a big impact and they could win a vacation package from NEA member benefits or other great prizes, including pizza for their students. Go to ohea.org to nominate a teacher, because public education matters.
Fan weather.
From the Logan AC and Heat Services Weather Center.
Mostly cloudy skies with some peaks of sun, and temperatures only getting into the mid to low 60s. We'll see chances of showers and thunderstorms in the afternoon to early evening, some which could be on the stronger side, and then lows tonight into the 50s with rain overnight continuing. For Tuesday, we still have a chance of rain and isolated storms in the forecast with highs in the 60s. For the Fan, I'm meteorologist Meredith Garfolo with your 10 weather impact forecast.
Bet365, the official online sports book of Rothman and Ice. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. The Fan, Ohio's sports destination.
Rothman and Ice present Pre-Snap Reads.
Sponsored by Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF. Or visit online at newmanroofing.com.
All right, Maddie, Bet365 time.
Let's get into it, because at Bet365, we don't do ordinary. Bet365 is the official sports betting partner of the Cleveland Guardians. You can bet $5 right now, and you'll get $150 in bonus bets, whether your bet wins or loses. So make sure you check out their website and download the Bet365 app today.
I got to tell you, if you were in Vegas, if you think you were going to get more value on the Cavs because they lost game one, you're not. If I bet right now, just to win their series, Cleveland, Boston, and OKC, three-way feast, it's still minus 122.
Really?
I can't even get even money if I win all those. So it's just telling you, maybe the bet to make will be tomorrow in teasing the Cavs down from 10, because they're favored by 10 to win game 2. Garland going to be back?
He's questionable.
Okay.
Kenny Atkinson just said that moments ago.
So you can buy into the pseudo must win for the Cavs.
Yeah.
It's minus 500. I'll probably do that tomorrow and pair it with a couple things. But I just feel like because I went in there right now to say, okay, what value could I get on the Cavs to win the series? They just lost home court advantage. They couldn't defend the 3. Like, it was kind of an ugly game. They dominate them in the paint, but they couldn't do anything.
And on their end, they could make a 3 to save their lives. Season low percentage-wise from 3-point range yesterday.
But there's no value on them right now. So Vegas is telling you, you know where the value is?
Where's it at?
And you wouldn't do this bet, and I probably wouldn't do it either. It's taking the Pacers to win the series now that they won game 1. If you wanted value, because they're going off now at plus 190.
Okay.
Indiana wins game 1, and they're still 2-1 to win the series. So if you want value, I mean, the Cavs are minus 230, so that's why I was combining it with those others. I'm not saying minus 122 is awful. It's not, but if you forced me to make a bet, that would be the one. Just take those 3 and maybe make it a higher bet, more than you would normally make. But, I mean, how concerned are you with the Cavs right now?
The Darius Garland thing's got me a little concerned. I still think they're going to find a way to pull this thing off, but when you talk about this foot that he's dealing with, like, they need him to be that explosive playmaker and scorer that he can be, especially because Indiana, they can get up and down. Like, they like to get up and down, and so I think he can play that transition game, but also slow them down on defense and get in the half-court offenses and have clean offensive sets. Like, you just don't want to be in a world where Sam Merrill's playing a whole bunch of playoff minutes.
Dude.
That's no knock to Sam Merrill, but, you know,
you're losing
not
speed,
Darius Garland.
You're losing shot making. You're losing 2 massive things.
He's an all-star caliber player, and so because of that, I'm a little concerned, but I do think they will win tomorrow and find a way to win the series, but they need DG back ASAP.
Cavs were 9 for 38 from 3.
Horrendous.
Donovan Mitchell was 1 for 11. Everyone can have a bad game. Now it turns to a must-win.
Yeah.
So if you made me do it, I'd probably lean into those 3, Boston, Cleveland, OKC, and at minus 122.
Okay. Based off what we've seen from the Cavs all year, I'm not going to freak out too much. They've earned all our trust. They won 64 bleeping games in the regular season. We get Knicks Celtics tonight. 7 o'clock tip in the Garden. 2 of the most historic brands in the sport. Should be really, really entertaining. I'm looking at Jason Tatum, the former Dookie. The Celtics as a whole, they get up a bunch of threes. Jason Tatum in the 4 games that he played against Orlando, 8 threes, 10 threes, 10 threes, 5 threes in their closeout game. He was 4 or 5 from 3. I'm looking at Jason Tatum tonight, plus 110 to knock down 4 3-pointers made. So I'm going JT for the old Celtics, plus 110 to make it rain on the New York Knickerbockers.
You also haven't blessed us lately with a first basket of the game.
Oh, I can get into that. Let me get into this for you. I like that.
I mean, that's a you know, you win or you lose right out of the gate. You got to win the tip.
Yeah.
But I never like I like first goal in hockey. You know, I love those.
Yes.
Versus first basket in basketball.
So my bet to win the tip tonight would be on Kristaps Porzingis over Karl-Anthony Towns.
Yep.
So I will lean towards a Boston Celtic.
Okay.
The best or the lightest juice, if you will, is plus 425 for Jaylen Brown to knock in the first basket. So you have 3 Celtics, bang, 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 right out of the gate.
Yeah.
Jaylen Brown plus 425. Kristaps Porzingis plus 550, and then Jason Tatum at plus 650.
And Kristaps is going to win that tip-off over Cat, so Celtics are going to get the ball first.
That's exactly what I'm thinking as well. I just said that. But it's all good, baby.
Oh, no.
Great minds think alike.
I thought you meant he's going to score over Cat.
No, I said he was going to win the tip over Cat.
My bad. I thought you meant he's going to score over Cat.
All good, buddy.
All good.
Takes a village.
No, hey, hand up. That's on me.
Great minds think alike.
Hand up.
So, Aaron, let's go a little Jaylen Brown. Plus 425.
So the favorite.
Yes.
Okay.
I'm going Jaylen Brown plus 425 along with the plus 110 for Jason Tatum to knock in 4 3-pointers.
I like that. I'll take Tatum to score the first basket at plus 650.
There we go. Whatever the moment, it's never ordinary at Bet365. Download the Bet365 app today. 21 plus only. Must be present in Ohio. If you or someone you know has a gambling problem and wants help, call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. Offer subject to meeting qualifying criteria.
And may the odds be ever in your favor.
All right, you guys remember last week where he played the Phil Simms bite?
Yeah.
And I said, you know what? He's leaving himself a little room with the family thing.
Oh, yeah.
This is your decision. This isn't your family's. Now, you can be honest and say, hey, I got to consider my family because I love my family. And if they have strong feelings about this, I want to at least hear them out. But you're Phil Simms. This isn't done very much, but it helped that Lawrence Taylor first did it.
Told him to kick
and
rocks,
now the
kid.
legend. But you rarely see this because this is a dude that was drafted really high. Their first pick, 3 overall. You rarely, because you want to root for him if you're a former Giant.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Phil Simms read him like a third-grade textbook. I told some of my friends and people around me I'd let him have it in a second. Can you just help it a little or make it better? I think it would be a lot of fun. It wouldn't bother me. That was the first one. It would be basically an honor. And then Carter said it'd be an honor. Well, Simms told longtime New York Daily News writer Gary Myers on Friday that he was, quote, outvoted by his family.
Hey.
And his number 11 will not be unretired and given to Abdul Carter. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't look at me. Look at the fam. They told him no. They told him
So
no.
Carter tweets out, this is just not the way to start. Yeah. Carter tweets out, damn, at this point, I'm going to be out there with just my last name on my jersey, no number. And then he does the just kidding, it's all love, just want to play football. Unretiring a number for a first-round draft pick is just not foreign to the Giants. It's last year, Malik Neighbors got permission from the family of a player who had passed years ago to wear number 1. So it's a little odd to me that Phil Simms, because you can be outvoted by your family and say, but I talked him off the ledge and it'll all be okay.
Yeah.
Abdul, you're more than welcome to make my number. Because it is an honor.
No doubt it is. No doubt it is.
You just don't want him to be better, I said last week. So you don't want the new generation to remember that number for him and not you.
Yeah.
That's what it is.
I saw Gronk. Rob Gronkowski he was not happy that Abdul Carter asked for this number, like LT. He thought he was absolutely crazy asking for
56?
For LT's number. Yeah, Gronk was not high on this at all. I get it from his perspective, that being Abdul Carter. But it's a bold strategy, Cotton. It really is, trying to fill those shoes. And maybe he will be that player for them. But, yeah, you just hope this gets deaded sooner rather than later, because all this is just kind of some nonsense that's floating around for the Giants at the moment. He'll get his number. I did see Kyle Brandt from the NFL Network. He thought that he should go with 51, take one of each. And I thought that was pretty good. You get the 5 from LT, you get the 1 from Simms. He mentioned Dick Butkus wearing 51. There's been some good players that wore that number. So I did want to give credit to Kyle Brandt from the NFL Network from saying that, because I thought that was pretty creative on his end. But their D-line should be really good this year, AR. The Giants, with this addition, they got some dogs up front.
You can look at this 2 ways. Maybe, Abdul, you don't even ask for it because you haven't earned it yet. You haven't earned that kind of stuff yet. And don't put Phil in a bad spot. But then you can look at it from probably the other way, which is let's all get together and rally around this kid.
Yeah.
Give him the number. We'll all know it's yours, but
this hasn't been as smooth as what's happened with the Tennessee Titans, right? Because Warren Moon was very warm and arms open about it, even came to his introductory press conference and said, here's number 1. Over there in New York, it ain't that easy.
I love it because the people who love tradition, this is great. Like, it stays with tradition. Here's Lawrence Taylor. I know he would love to wear that number 56, but hey, I think it's retired. Get another number. I don't care if it's 00, and then make it famous. So, famous Amos. Find your own cookie.
Cookies get it
All right,
done.
we're going to come back, stay with the NFL post-draft power rank, and the opposite end of the spectrum. Which teams get kicked to the curb? 2 minutes, Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
Hey, what's up? It's T-Bone for Window Nation. May is officially here, and so are the rising temperatures. Before you know it, you're going to be wondering what else you can do to keep cool during the dog days of summer. Beat the heat and keep the AC in your home with Window Nation's energy-efficient vinyl windows. During their semi-annual sale, you'll get 60% off and a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows. Plus, no money down, no interest, and no monthly payments until 2027. That's a whole lot of savings and a super smart investment, especially when prices are rising. So how exactly does Window Nation keep the prices affordable? Well, they work directly with top window manufacturers in the country, which means all their windows are assembled right here in the USA. Plus, their windows come with a lifetime warranty, so you'll keep saving long into the future. Window Nation's semi-annual sale ends soon, so don't miss your chance to get 60% off. Plus a free entry door when you purchase a house full of windows. And you pay nothing until 2027. Schedule your estimate right now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
Home means something different to everyone. But with Rocket Mortgage, home can mean even more. It can mean a college education, taming your high-interest debt, even a renovation. We've made it easier than ever to use your home equity. That home you worked so hard for, now it can work hard for you. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, NMLSconsumeraccess.org, number 3030.
Well, Trina, now you're in charge of ordering food for the office, so meet my mountain of menus.
So, this should be easy.
Easy as pie. You know the mathematical constant for a circle circumference to diameter ratio, pi? It's super complicated.
In that case, I'll be using EasyCater. It's got everything on one simple platform. Tons of restaurants, dietary preferences, even digital receipts.
But my mountain of menus.
How about I order us some pie?
EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.
Rothman and Ice is sponsored by your local Pella Window and Door showroom on Gemini Parkway. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Their live golf team name is Ice Dogs. You're listening to Rothman and Ice.
All right, 2027 draft in D.C. Okay. The mall, all the monuments, great backdrop, should be incredible. That's 2027. Next year's where?
That's a good question. I don't think I've heard this yet. Where is the draft next year?
I think I know it.
Super Bowl Santa Clara, correct?
Peaburg?
I think so.
Oh, it's in Pittsburgh? Okay.
If I recall correctly.
I feel like it is. I get mixed up because when we're on Radio Row, they always show you where the next Super Bowl is, not the draft.
Yeah.
All right, so.
Because when we were there this year, I heard they had like the Green Bay setup where like cheese curds and they had some Wisconsin stuff going on year before that. I remember us being in Vegas and we had a nice little jambalaya at the New Orleans setup. So, yeah, they do a good job of that at Radio Row. It's a good time.
All right, so they kind of did a post-draft power ranking. I'm actually, honestly, I'm more interested in the teams that are going to get kicked to the curb here because you know my drill here. Somebody new's coming to the party, somebody's got to go. They're not expanding the NFL playoffs right now again. And I feel like if we're going to get Cincinnati back in, we're probably going to get would Pittsburgh leave? Would that be the swap you would make? Cincinnati back in, Pittsburgh leaves. It was the exact opposite last year where Pittsburgh got in. I'd have to believe that we might get some slight regression in Washington. I would be surprised if they miss the playoffs, but maybe the NFC East stays the same. 2 in, 2 out. I'm not going to stump for Dallas. Where do they have Dallas on the list? Post-draft power ranking.
Let me cook this up for you.
That's an elimination team.
Where are those Dallas Cowboys?
7-10 last year.
According to ESPN, they have them 19th among every team ranked in the National Football League. They did lose DeMarcus Lawrence this offseason. I believe he went over to Seattle. Am I making that up? But he has been a key piece to what they've done for a long time. I just don't know if Dallas is going to have. Do they have enough firepower? Because you look at the teams in their division, as you mentioned, with Philadelphia and Washington, especially Washington, explosive playmaker at quarterback. Terry McLaurin's been an absolute menace for defenses to handle. And then in Philly, you know what time it is with the weaponry that they have and the balance that they have on offense. Even if Saquon doesn't repeat what he did last year, if there's a step back, a minor step back for Saquon, they still have this ability to go into games knowing we have one of the best offensive lines in the sport, if not the best offensive line, a mobile quarterback, and 2 playmakers on the outside that can really get after you. So that's what I can't wait to see from Dallas, right? You have CeeDee Lamb down there, who we know is one of the best wide receivers in the league. But after that, what playmakers are you really scared of down there in Dallas? And if they get into those games, will they have the ability to keep up if need be? I don't know if they have that ability right now.
I don't think so. I would not swap them out right now. I'd be worried that right now Pittsburgh doesn't feel like a 10-win team, but if they get Rodgers, I could buy into it, but they're not a 10 without him. And I wouldn't bet on it. The other team that's not winning 14 games is the Minnesota Vikings. They're not winning 14. That was a special season, and they're not doing that. I'm not saying they're going to miss the playoffs because I think the North is going to be amazing. The Bears are coming into the party. Unless Caleb flops.
I like what they've done this offseason.
If the Bears
I really do
don't get in the playoffs, I think it's a fail.
Here's what I'll say, though. You got a rookie head coach, and sometimes that can get a little funky with decision makers and doing those things on the fly with clock management and timeout management and all that. We'll see if Ben Johnson can handle that. But as far as the way things look on paper right now, especially around Caleb coming out of the draft, like they went into the draft, I thought, having a really good offseason. If they didn't touch anything on offense after or during the draft and those first couple picks, I would have understood because their offensive line looks to be shored up. But they said we're doubling down on offensive weaponry, bringing in Colston Loveland from Michigan and then adding Luther Burden. But your team, though, they did a similar thing. It's just we don't know what we're getting at quarterback with Minnesota, but the investment on the offensive line that your team made, I think, is really good. And then you go draft Donovan Jackson as well in the first round. I like what Minnesota has cooking on. That NFC North, though, AR, like, are we looking at the best division in football right now? Are we crowning the NFC North as the best division top to bottom in the league at the moment?
Feels like it.
Even if Minnesota does take a step back and wins 9-10 games.
It's 4 deep. That's the difference. Yeah. I can go through every division and find you a dog with fleas. Like, I can find one. Yeah. And I can't in the North. Because I could make the case right now. Pittsburgh's leaving. Cincinnati's coming in. Seattle's leaving. The Bears are coming in. As far as, like, playoff teams. Although Seattle didn't make the playoffs. But they had 10 wins. Yeah. I know a team that I'm most interested in.
Yeah.
The Miami Dolphins.
Okay. We'll go down to the 305.
I'd be very curious where they have them. Because
20th they are.
They've got to be able to win 10 games.
I don't believe in them.
It's really, but that division.
I know.
I know Vrave's going to make a dent there with New England.
I just don't believe. Like 8,
so you don't believe they're a playoff team?
I don't.
Well, that keeps the AFC East exactly where it was then.
Yeah.
Then only Buffalo's getting in. Because if you go to the AFC North, your team's getting in. I have the Bengals getting in. And they probably only get 2 this year. They only got 2 last year. But it's just going to be a different 2. The South, who knows? Jacksonville, they certainly...
What are we getting from Trevor Lawrence?
That's it. I mean,
I know what it comes down to.
You've got to be getting more than 4 wins. Like,
you would think, but as far as players with the most pressure on them this year in the league, that dude's high up for me. Got the bag. Tons of hype for years. Coming out of Clemson, he was that guy. Like, he was spectacular coming out of Clemson. And so now you look at what they've done. When you bring in now a Travis Hunter, who I think will absolutely help them on offense. Brian Thomas Jr. was a menace last year. But he's got to be the guy that elevates all of that talent. Because that division is supposed to be CJ and Trevor Lawrence duking this thing out for a while. And we'll see what splash Cam Ward makes. Maybe we have 3 years in a row, 3 rookies at the most important position come in and get their team into the mix. I didn't see that for Houston prior to CJ doing his thing. I didn't see that for Washington last year. So I don't think this is going to be the norm. But maybe that division... We're not seeing it now, but if Cam Ward is that guy, AR, then Tennessee, with some of the moves that they made, may be able to make things interesting over there in the South, too.
All right, I'm going to throw out a team to you guys.
Yeah.
This is going to be, you tell me whether, I'm not going with a strong, crazy take, like somehow Kansas City misses the playoffs. Okay, that's ridiculous. But they won every damn game by one score. Yeah. That can't happen again. Vikes were big in that department too. Mm-hmm. They got through the regular season in the most absurd way I've ever seen. You tell me that roster got stronger?
I mean, think about two of the games that they played against the AFC North teams. The games right out of the gate. Isaiah Likely's toe on the line. You had the funky stuff with the Bengals game, with the pass interference at the end. They still found a way, but they were not cleaning people's clocks. 8-0 at home, though.
My point is, Mahomes will never miss it. But
I don't think so.
But you can't. If you told me that Kansas City Chiefs would win 11 games this year and regress by 4 wins, I could buy it. Just based on the odds.
I think the Chargers will be better. I think
they won 11.
And Denver with Bo Nix can take a leap, and now you have a veteran quarterback holding the steering wheel for the Raiders. So that division, that's been, look, I've given them nothing but praise. How can you not? They've been dominating for a while. But the division hasn't been at a level around them to where they really had to worry about teams clipping them and being on their heels. That may be different now, right? With Harbaugh in year 2, Bo Nix and Sean Payton year 2. You got a Super Bowl winning quarterback and a veteran quarterback in Geno Smith in year 1 over there. And so the grind through the West, I think, will be tougher for Kansas City. And maybe some of those games that you mentioned will now go the other way because of the talent in that division. You just can't win every one-score game. They beat Baltimore one-score game, Cincinnati one-score game, at Atlanta, at the Chargers one-score game, at Vegas, the overtime game against Tampa, 2-point win against Denver at home. Yeah. They lost at Buffalo by 9, but all these games, 3 points, 2 points, 2 points. You can't be perfect like that in one-score games. You know what they would probably tell us? We did all that, and we didn't have our top 2 playmakers on the outside. We didn't have Hollywood Brown, and we didn't have Rashee Rice. And we still found a way. 8-0.
What do you think they're over
last year?
Has their over/under come out?
I haven't seen it.
Is, right?
I'd have to, if I had to guess, it's probably around 11.5, 12.5.
11.5.
11.5, yeah.
All right, so it was
somewhere
right at that number.
Yeah.
All right, we're going to come back with Tell the Truth and wrap it up next. Rothman and Ice and the Fan.
The only workplace in America to participate in the Doorknob Fart Game. And we also play office basketball and sometimes do radio. The Fan, Ohio sports destination.
It always seems to happen at the worst time. You're finally in bed after a long, hard day, and then you hear it. You sit up, heart sinking. Is that coming from the ceiling? All of a sudden, it's a middle-of-the-night flashlight hunt to find the leak. But don't worry, Newman Roofing has you covered, literally. With more than 3 decades in the business, we've seen just about everything a storm can throw at a roof. Our teams know how to spot the problem, explain your options, and fix it right the first time, with craftsmanship and care you can feel good about. We're not just here for a quick patch job, and we never will be. We're here to make sure your home stays protected season after season. So when it comes to your roofing, siding, or gutter needs, choose the company you can trust, Newman Roofing. Call Newman Roofing today at 614-NEW-ROOF. That's 614-NEW-ROOF, or visit online at newmanroofing.com. Don't just get a new roof, get a Newman roof.
Hey, it's Bobby Carpenter. Spring is here and it's time to refresh your yard with Ohio Mulch. With 15 convenient locations in Central Ohio, it's easier than ever to get your mulch ready for the season. Need it delivered? No problem. Save $50 on home delivery when you order online. Whether it's mulch, soil, or even stone, we've got your yard covered. Visit OhioMulch.com today and spruce up your garden with the best.
Ohio Mulch, landscape supply, greener, greener, better.
That's the sound of a Mountain Dew. And that's you enjoying its refreshing citrus kick. That's a cool breeze suddenly whistling through your hair.
Whoa!
That's you realizing you're now on a mountain.
This is epic!
That's you stating the obvious. That's you stepping up to the plate. That's you winning your kickball game.
Yes! Let's go!
That's you taking another sip of your
Mountain Dew.
Do the Dew.
Common Man and Bob Capace here for Worthington Jewelers. Bob, you know what I love the most about you?
That I pay you to do these commercials?
That, and the way you treat your customers.
All right, listen. I will hook you up in our warm, inviting environment. you will be greeted by our top sales professionals that are non-commissioned, but will help guide you through the entire process.
You're my guy, Bob. Worthington Jewelers on High Street in Worthington, worthingtonjewelers.com. Tell them Bob Capace sent you.
Breaking news, and this one is almost unbelievable.
Yeah, it's all about new customers at Bet365 because they get $150 in bonus bets when they bet $5, win or lose. And even better, bonus bets can be used on the spread, totals, and player props.
There you have it. Bet $5 to get $150 in bonus bets, win or lose. And see why it's never ordinary at Bet365. 21 plus only. Must be physically located in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. T&Cs apply.
Fish has been named the third best sports program director in the country. Winner. The two dudes who finished ahead of him are dead. So we're declaring him the winner. You're listening to the home of champions, the Fan, Ohio sports destination.
Patients everywhere are experiencing joint pain relief thanks to QC Kinetics regenerative treatments. So how does this non-surgical approach work? QC Kinetics Medical Director Dr. Aaron Wolkoff explains.
Is like when you get a paper cut and the cells that come onto that scene first stop the bleeding and then it recruits more cells to form new skin and new soft tissue. And then you look down a week later, 2 weeks later, and it's like nothing happened and that paper cut never existed.
In this same way, QC Kinetics uses your natural biologics to help repair and restore aching knees, hips, shoulders, and backs.
We take those same similar cells in different areas that are arthritic, are painful, and we cause this kind of internal self-healing that can resolve patients' pain.
Relief without surgery. See if you're a candidate for QC Kinetics regenerative treatments.
Call QC Kinetics 380-208-4544. That's 380-208-4544. 380-208-4544.
The Fan Guest Hotline is sponsored by Accurate Heating and Cooling and Bryant, doing whatever it takes to keep you and your home comfortable. The Fan.
Tell the truth with Rothman and Ice.
Sponsored by Window Nation. For all your window needs, visit windownation.com.
All right, Loose Cannon, take us home.
All righty. Hey, we talked a lot about the draft last week. I don't even know if we covered the biggest revelation from the draft.
What happened?
We found out that Will Campbell has a girlfriend, and now we know who she is.
Oh, I don't know who she is, so please inform me.
Tell the truth. Is it weird that Will Campbell is dating Garrett Nussmeier's sister?
Wow.
Well, they go to school together, right?
I don't know if she goes to LSU.
Oh, I'm just
Well,
assuming.
you're talking Nussmeier and obviously Campbell, so maybe he's been around the fam.
Yeah, and I'm assuming if he's dating her, they're around the same age. So I'm also going to make the assumption that she goes to LSU.
Yeah.
Or maybe he did meet her through Garrett.
That wouldn't surprise me.
I think that's very normal.
Yeah.
If she went to another school, like a rival school, I would like, if you told me that Will Campbell's dating
All right, give me a sec on that.
former Georgia or some Bama would be that. A former Bama cheerleader. Like, I'd be like, that's interesting.
This to me is, maybe.
No, she goes to LSU.
Okay, so she's there. Maybe, Garrett had him over at the crib for a dinner, a barbecue, whatever it is, and Will and Garrett's sister linked up, and it was love at first sight.
He was the guy that at the draft, I felt, gave a very good interview. He was just so mature about it with Vrabes, football dude, no nonsense. But he also was the guy that looked like kind of a human phone booth in that suit. It was like 6'2". It was like boom. It was like
wasn't Taylor is what you're saying?
I was saying that yes, it was just kind of like he did not look 6'6". Correct. He just it was interesting to me. He was he the one that was that they said had short arms?
Yeah.
For a guy who's okay. That may have been it. Maybe I didn't know what I was seeing. And maybe the arms weren't hanging long enough.
He has a good quote about that. And there's a whole compilation video of him. Will Campbell's great, but he was like, for 3 years I've been a really good football player, but I guess I can't play anymore because I have short arms.
That's correct.
Nicknamed the T-Rex.
And arguably the best conference in the country. He held it down.
I think that's what I saw. Because when you see a guy 6'6", 320 and something looks off, that may have been it.
He's got Desmond Bain arms, Matty.
But you're saying that his future brother-in-law may be Garrett Nussmeier. That's very that makes sense.
Sometimes nothing can be a real cool hand.
Oh my. Classic.
There you go. Do you guys find that time flies in this profession? Because I do.
Interesting. What are you doing over there during the show? Why is the time flying so much?
Scrolling through Twitter.
There you go.
No. But I don't know. I just find that the pre-show prep, our minds are always locked on. Then the shows go by quickly because it's compartmentalized into 4 segments an hour. Just time's always moving. Then by the end of the day, you're like, man.
I'll get Maddie's view on this because my take is when you first start doing this, an hour seems forever. And then when they tacked on the second hour, I'm like, wow, you're doubling the output.
Yeah.
That felt long. When we went from 2 to 3, it didn't faze me because you're kind of already warmed up. You're almost like, okay, now I'm ready to go. Like it takes about a 90 minutes to kind of, okay, now you're into it a little bit. So I'm not advocating for a 4th hour or anything more, but I'm telling you that 1 to 2 was more jarring than 2 to 3.
I hear you on that. I definitely do. You know, time moves the fastest for me, TLC, when we're in football season. Like those days, shows, weeks are just, they're a blur for me. There's just so much packed into the show, right? We're moving so quickly with the Buckeyes and the Bengals and the Browns and the AFC North and just everything else that's swirling around that. Like that window of time for me, I just feel like my mind never really catches up with everything and slows down. When we get to this portion of the calendar, things breathe a little bit, and then we can really get into some things. But yeah, that's it for me. When we kick off football until we're done, I just feel like that is the quickest the clock moves.
All right, Maddie will love this. TLC, tell the truth.
Okay.
When I say the phrase time is a flat circle, what does that mean to you? What do you think of?
I've heard the phrase a million times.
Yeah, I mean,
Does it originate from a movie or a show that I didn't watch?
It doesn't originate from a movie, but it was in a show where everything you do and will do from now until the end of time, you will do over and over again forever. That's technically... But what was it in?
Seinfeld, I don't know.
No. Season 1 of True Detective.
If you've
Tell
never...
me about the stories. What kind of stories? Oh, no stories.
TLC, if you've never watched True Detective Season 1, and no, I know you told me earlier you're watching Temptation Island. I fully endorse that. On Netflix. Phenomenal. Carve out some time for Season 1 of True Detective.
Is that the Woody Harrelson?
Yes. Matthew McConaughey.
Yes.
And who's the woman?
It's a
phenomenal.
It's
who's the woman?
Good little journey.
I don't remember.
Oh, it's
what's her name?
Not McKinnon.
No.
Rachel McAdams is not in that season.
No.
Why can I not remember?
She was in that movie with Jake Gyllenhaal on the train. She's in White Lotus.
Let me see here.
It's with
Alexandra
an M.
Daddario.
No. She's in it, but not
that's
the
one I care about.
Oh, I thought you were talking. That's Woody. That's Woody's interest in True Detective. I thought you were talking about Woody's wife.
No.
His love interest.
Oh, you're talking about the side piece?
Yeah, he apparently was talking about the side piece.
Side piece?
I was talking about his wife.
Alexandra, what is it, Daddario?
Yeah.
Okay, I can understand why he would be interested in that. But yes, absolutely watch that.
But I'm thinking of...
Yes, I know who you're thinking of. Is it A.R. Is it Michelle?
Michelle Monaghan.
Yes, Michelle Monaghan.
Okay.
A.R., like Woody told him, the car is a place of silent reflection.
That's right.
A.K.A. shut the hell up. Talking too much.
And it's intercepted at the goal line. Unbelievable.
Do you guys care about vacated wins? Tell the truth.
I don't.
Thank you.
I don't.
It's kind of like something you have to lop in there. I said it earlier, though. If you're Michigan, you would care. Not to the point where if you had a choice between taking vacated wins and taking a bowl ban, you're going to take vacated wins all day. But I'm telling you, when you are technically the all-time winningest program in history, you wouldn't want wins taken away.
Not if you're Michigan.
You're
if
middle
you're
of the
Michigan
pack,
fan,
you're okay.
Who cares?
Yeah.
Wow, Jack Sawyer.
Before we go, if you ever miss anything from our show, don't worry. You can always catch up because wherever you get your podcast, type in Rothman and Ice. Everything we do from noon to 3 will be waiting there for you. Subscribe to the Rothman and Ice podcast as well. Bet365 is the exclusive sports betting sponsor of the Rothman and Ice podcast. T-Bone and Tyvis Powell will be on from 3 to 6 today, so don't move.
All right, we will talk to you tomorrow at high noon. Thanks for listening. Rothman and Ice on the Fan.
We test marketed naming the show A Guy and His Butlers.
Oh, that is very touching.
But we thought Bishop and Friends had a better ring to it.
Weekday mornings at 9.
The Fan.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Aaron, which brand of air conditioner is the most energy efficient?
It's the one that's had its outside coils cleaned correctly.
Well, I can wash those off with a garden hose, right?
No.
Why not?
Humidity mixes with dust and pollen to create a microthin film of sticky paste that gets baked onto those hot outside coils.
And that baked-on stuff keeps my coils from releasing their heat into the atmosphere.
Which means your system has to run longer, which uses a lot more energy and it shortens the life of your air conditioner.
Get Eco.
ECO.
How do we get that baked-on stuff off?
Remove the exterior shroud, then spray the coils from the inside out with a special eco-friendly solvent.
Can I rinse the solvent off with a garden hose?
Yeah, but only from the inside out.
Or I could just pay Eco to do it.
Get Eco.
ECO.
Eco doesn't take shortcuts. We do it the right way every time.
Get Eco professional coil cleaning for just $468.
Bobby Carpenter here for Germain Toyota. Swing by Germain Toyota and ask for Marcello and discover unbeatable deals and a wide selection of new and certified pre-owned Toyota vehicles. Visit them at germaintoyota.net. Germain Toyota on the corner of I-70 and Bryce Road.
When it's time to ask life's biggest question, make sure your ring says it all. Hi, it's Alex Johnson from the Diamond Cellar. And we've been helping couples say yes for over 78 years. From brilliant cuts to better prices, the quality and selection of our diamonds is unmatched. Because diamonds aren't just our business, they're our legacy. Visit us at Diamond Cellar on Sawmill Road or at Easton Town Center and learn more at diamondcellar.com. Bigger diamonds, better prices, guaranteed.
Want to learn about Pick 4 from the Ohio Lottery? Okay. Pick 4 is a daily draw game where you pick 4 individual numbers between 0 and 9 that can be played straight, where each number must be drawn in an exact order or box where they can be drawn in any order. You can win up to $2,500 on a 50-cent bet. Learn more at OhioLottery.com or the Ohio Lottery app. Lottery players are subject to Ohio laws and commission regulations. Play responsibly. Want to go back to the radio? Okay.
Guys, what's up? It's Matty Ice, and I'm here with Wendy's. And if you're looking for your next sandwich love, check out the Cajun Crunch Chicken Sandwich. This sandwich really has me feeling the heat, and it's packed with bold Cajun flavors that add that perfect little kick. Plus, it's topped with crispy onions that give it a satisfying crunch in every single bite. And did I mention this is all on top of Wendy's iconic spicy chicken sandwich? So if you love that, you have to get your hands on this Cajun Crunch Chicken Sandwich before it's gone. For that little extra kick, it's got to be Wendy's. Open until midnight or later.
Sometimes I hear a sparkling sound.
Like when we say, all you have to do is point?
There it is.
That's the sound of magic happening.
Magic like we can come the day you call us? Wow.
Call 1-800-GOT-JUNK or visit 1-800-GOT-JUNK.com.
Hey, Ohio, Prime Sports has arrived, the only book where you can lay 108 instead of 110 on all your favorite teams. Football, baseball, basketball, and hockey. Why would you risk more to win the same amount at another sports book? Download the Prime Sports Ohio app or visit our website, primesportsbook.com. Get a welcome bonus to match your initial deposit up to $400 in bonus bets. And be a member of the Prime Sports family.
Terms and conditions apply. Visit website for details. Must be 21 and present in Ohio. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER.
Feeling stressed or overwhelmed? Not sure how to get the mental health help you need? We've got your back. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442. We'll help you figure out what mental health benefits may be in your health plan. No more confusion, just the support you deserve. Call the Mental Health Insurance Assistance Office at 855-438-6442.
Home means something different to everyone. But with Rocket Mortgage, home can mean even more. It can mean a college education, taming your high-interest debt, even a renovation. We've made it easier than ever to use your home equity. That home you worked so hard for? Now it can work hard for you. Call 800-4ROCKET or visit rocket.com to find out more.
Rocket Mortgage, LLC, licensed in all 50 states, NMLS ConsumerAccess.org, number 3030.
Well, Trina, now you're in charge of ordering food for the office, so meet my mountain of menus.
So this should be easy.
Easy as pie. You know the mathematical constant for a circle circumference to diameter ratio, pi? It's super complicated.
In that case, I'll be using EasyCater. It's got everything on one simple platform. Tons of restaurants, dietary preferences, even digital receipts.
But my mountain of menus.
How about I order us some pie?
EasyCater, the easy way to get food for work.